Okay. Here we are again. Let the intro play out as usual. We'll wait a minute or two after that, and then we'll get started. And we'll see if we can end on a similar note to what we did previously when we did this part. Excuse me. I need a volume 5.5 for my television in the background because 6 is just a little bit too loud and 5 is just a little bit too quiet. At least when the air conditioning is on anyway. Okay, we'll give it like one more minute. Clock's supposed to say 4:30, but we'll give it like one more minute. Just for the hell of it. All right, 4:31 on each clock. Let's do this. We want to talk about serendipity. I'm pretty sure that not only did we finish at the same small karma terminal when we played this a few weeks ago when I first played it blind, but in addition to that, I'm pretty sure the stream length for the first stream was, if not exactly the same, very, very close to the same as what we got when we played it just now live. So yeah, if you had been here previously and now you were here now, you'd probably be very confused as to what's going on because I named it the exact same as the original one. But hopefully our paths will start to diverge today, especially because now I know which mantras I want to get in order to make the game a little easier going forward. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Digital Devil Saga 2, the stream edition. I almost made it through the whole intro without yawning. Last time we began our journey outside the simulation and found out that it was being used as a project by the Karma Society to create super soldiers. So now we're going to go into Karma City and bust them up a little bit while also searching for our friends, but we have to go through the underwater cable station to do that. So that's the plan today. And I think we're all head full at the moment. Don't really have too much else to do. So let's go do that, shall we? Conveniently, the cable station is directly marked to show us exactly where Karma City is supposed to be, so that's helpful, I suppose. I forget which of these ladders is the correct one to go to first. I don't think it matters particularly much, because I think you have to hit both switches that are here in order to open the gate, so. If I recall correctly. There's a couple more chakra drops to save us on a little MP, because I'm sure we'll need that eventually. Lamias. Hello. So Mazio is going to get the press turn because Gale happens to be weak to that. So that's not very nice, but I suppose we'll be able to take care of it. We don't have access to Matera yet, though, so this may be a little more interesting than it could be if we, actually had access to that. So, we also don't have access to Void Elect yet either, so that doesn't really help us much, but I'll just do the best I can because sometimes that's all you can do. See if we can end it in one round anyway. There we go. Yeah, Surf having a lot of magic really helps in the early game in these particular cases. Lets you one-round things a lot easier, even if they're not necessarily weak to what you're using on them, so... Okay, Argel is going to need a chakra drop pretty soon, but we'll worry about that in a moment. First, let's go down here and hit this switch. Hey, look, another case where Matera would be helpful. Yeah, we'll get it soon enough. If I recall correctly, it is both Terra and Agi will get us Matera. So, we don't have access to it just yet, but we'll get there. And this guy is weak and frightened because I used his weakness on him, so Surf, you can have a little snack. Or you could not have a little snack because you didn't quite do enough damage to kill him. He probably lived on like 1 HP there, or something significantly close, but I guess it's probably for the best anyway, because this way Argel and Gale get closer to Devourer without having to worry too much about it. Gale got all the stats that mattered, as usual, so that's pretty good. Let's see. Let's activate the switch so I can move on without even having to go up those other stairs. Oh, okay. Yeah, so in order to get past this gate, you're going to need to hit both switches. Which, I mean, yeah, I guess it's a little bit of a hassle, but it's not a huge deal. We'll just go down and around and up, and then down and around and back up here, and then we'll be fine. Alternatively, if I had remembered which one was which, you could have avoided this whole mess by just going this way over here first, but, oh well, no big deal. I think I will turn it up to volume 6 in the background just to have it. These guys, Empusas, I got this wrong before. I thought they were weak to fire like they were in the first game. I think they're weak to Terra in this one. Either Terra or Xan, I can't remember. No, it's not that one. So, because they use Zeo in this one, so. And they're still resistant to ice as far as I remember, so. Yeah, I was gonna say, we might not actually kill him this time, but that's okay. We'll figure it all out, no big deal. Just do this, and then Gale, go for it, please. I should probably put him a little closer to the front of the party order. Because for right now, him and Argela are the ones that are mainly going to be being able to hit the weaknesses of the enemies around here. Eventually, Surf will take over, because he'll have Agi, but yeah, until then, maybe I should switch them a little bit. Well, 3 rations never hurt. Well, it's really only the Empusas whose weaknesses I would have to hit with Gale, so I think we're okay for now. I was going to say, I'm going to regret that immediately because there's going to be like 4 of them, isn't there? And we, of course, don't have access to, anything to... I don't think we have access to Mazan yet, because if I recall correctly, you need Zeo as well in order to get access to that, and it's going to take us a little bit before we can get Zeo, right? Well, Gale's going to work on it, so... Actually, Argel is also going to work on it, not because she's actually going to use it, but because it's easier to get her to the light and dark mantras that I want her to work on, so... And the easiest way is through the first level of electricity magic, so that's what we're going to do. Let's hit this switch, and then we'll move along. Now, ideally, by the time I get down and around and closer to the other ladder again, I would like to have everybody done with the mantras that they have, but we might not actually get to that just yet, because I think we're not behind, but usually by now I've had Surf eat at least once between here and there. But I think there's a save point pretty close by once we get through the gate there, so I guess it's not really anything you need to concern yourself with too much. And yeah, if you need to go back to Old Portland, there you go. You can head back that way, but I think I'm good. We'll just head this way instead. Oh, excuse me. Nothing like getting enough sleep last night, but eating a salad for lunch and making yourself tired. Do you die to a Bufu now? You sure do. Get that magic surf. That's all we need right now. And, you know, the Atma points to get us access to a bunch of other elements. So, all of the above would be good. Might even go for Bolt Wizard with Argila sooner rather than later, because she already can access it, if I recall, through protection. So, because she already has that done. There's a save point. I will use it in a moment. Let's just map this little section out first, since I'm, you know, not quite done with mantras yet anyway. I can probably get this little section here, this little corner. There's a chest over there, but there's also a crashed car, so yeah, we're not going to be we're not going to be gaining access to that just yet, unfortunately. Okay, so this should go fairly smoothly. We'll just do what we've been doing, and then yeah, let's give it a shot. Yeah, see, we're not quite there yet in terms of our damage, but we'll get there. It becomes a fairly consistent problem, actually, over the course of the game, where it's like, you can't quite do enough damage with Devour in order to kill things. Thankfully, there are several higher-tier eating skills that deal damage and do more damage than Devour, so we won't have to worry about it for too long. And by the time you get to the end game, even though, you know, you may not necessarily have any, like, mega damage devouring skills, it won't matter because, well, you'll see when we get there, but until then, we'll just make do with what we've got. And try to finish things in one round where we can. If we cannot, then we cannot, no big deal. But I'm going to try. And there we go. We've mastered all of the mantras that we have. So now everybody has access to Devour and Ingest Mana, which is good. Surf also got access to Agi and Void Fire. And yeah, so now we're in good shape. And also Surf leveled up, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he did. So since I messed up a little bit before, we'll just do odd levels. We'll do 2 Vitality and 1 Magic. And then even levels, we'll just do 3 Magic. And that should keep us in the clear for the entire time here, because that'll get us 1321 and then 1525, and we'll just be going like that for basically the remainder of Surf's levels for the near future. Eventually, it'll kind of be similar to how I'm going to be building my character in Nocturne, where eventually I'll want him to start working on strength, but we won't really need it for quite some time, so. Okay, but since we did that, let's get some mantras and watch them master them as we go. So what happens when you master mantras is it will open up the adjacent mantras to that one. So as you can see there, any of the ones that Arshila didn't have unlocked, and any of the ones Gale didn't have unlocked that were next to the one that they just did, opened up because we mastered Devourer, or in this case, Fire Spirit. Now for Surf, there was nothing adjacent to it that would open up except that purple one, but that doesn't open up except for special circumstances, which I'll talk about later. But we did gain access to the mantra on the outer ring of the grid. So, excuse me, as you learn abilities that are on the outside edges of the grid, your mantra grid will expand a few times, basically, until you get to the point where you can see basically everything. Right now, we're still not quite there yet, but we'll get there as we learn more skills. And I believe, yes, this here, excuse me, Adamant, is the mantra that I eventually want to have Surf work on, but for now, I think I'm going to have him just work on all of his level 1s. Which would include Shura and Spirit, would be the other 2 that you want. So I guess we'll just do Shura next. Get him closer to the mantras that let him eat things a little better. So Sramana is just physical attack skills as well. And then Demon Beast will get us access to some hunt skills. I did originally plan on getting the Demon Hunt skills, which includes Devil Feast, which was a staple of our movesets back in DDS 1. But they nerfed it significantly in this one to the point where I think it only has a base 20% chance of hitting. So basically, if you frighten the enemy, it would only have a 60% chance rather than it being practically guaranteed. So because it's a little less reliable in this one, I tend to just use Devour and the upgraded damaging versions of Devour instead. And usually you can get away with it. It's usually not too big of a deal. But the gist of the hunt skills that we want to get for everyone is we want to work on Shura, then Sramana, Demon Beast, and then we'll move up through Priestess, and we'll move up and to the left of that to eventually get access to all the good stuff. Iron Stomach, AP Divide, the higher end hunt skills, that sort of stuff. So that's where I'm going to be going. In the meantime, let's work on some stuff for Argela and for Gale as well. What do I want Gale to work on next? I might have him work on protection, actually, because that'll eventually get him access to Bolt Wizard, and then, as you can see, Angel is over here, and we want to get access to Angel so that way we can work on that for both Argela and Gale. I'd like them both to master Angel before we're done with this dungeon, if possible, so I'm going to try to make a bit of a beeline for it, and then we'll master their level 1s after that, any of the ones that they have left over. This will also get Gale access to Bolt Wizard, which he's going to need to cover his weakness eventually anyway, so... And Argela already has access to it right through here. Is there anything else for her that I'd like? Maybe Dragon. Since I'm working on it with Gale, maybe I should have her work on Dragon. Yeah, I might as well. We'll let Argela work on taking care of her weakness as well. That'll get us access to a few extra skills, and eventually we'll get access to Zeo once Gale's done with protection, which shouldn't take long now that we have Devour on everybody. Speaking of which, let me fix that in my skill list so that everybody can use it while we're at it. So, and for right now, our list of skills is going to look a little compact because of the fact that we don't really have a whole lot going for us for now, but we only have 4 skill slots to work with at the moment, but we'll fix that eventually. Once we get to level 10, that will be fixed fairly quickly for us. I'm going to keep Mad Rush because Mad Rush is fairly useful. Maybe not in the first slot. There we go. It's still useful against enemies that I've already softened up, so I'll just keep that for now. And then we'll have Devour and Ingest Mana on everybody. Yep. Okay. And get used to seeing that as well because... an eating skill and ingest mana will be on basically every single character from now until the end of the game as long as they have access to it. So it's at least not during boss fights, but everywhere else, yes, it will most likely be on everybody for forever, essentially. Because Devour and Ingest Mana are both very good. Devour lets you potentially end a battle a little bit quicker than you normally would if you're just attacking them. Also gets you a big chunk of AP for that character, and Ingest Mana lets you eat and also get 10% of your maximum MP back when you do it, so mutually beneficial skills. And that's why we're going to use them so often. So, yeah, that's how that goes. See if I can get the whole section there. Yes, I can. I believe this is just a side path for now, and eventually we'll have to circle back to it, but let's go check it out while we're at it, shall we? See if we can test out our new eating skills while we're down and around here. Crawling around in this not sewer level. Okay, so now that we have Augie set on Surf, we have access to Matera, and now that we have Devour set on everybody, we have access to Primal Dance, which will deal heavy damage to a single foe. We also have access to Miragi, and since these guys are all weak to that, you know I'm using that right now. And there we go. We got 2 Frightens, which is perfect, because that means that Gale and Argela can both munch. Get a little MP back while they're at it, and then Surf can just kill the last one with Augie, and then he can munch in the next battle. See? All works out pretty nicely. Now things are going to start getting more interesting and more dynamic in the fights because, well, we're going to be able to eat things, which will make it a lot easier to end battles quickly and keep the pace moving along, you know. Although depending on how much we eat, I may have to... We may be kind of shuffling around a save point here a bit because, well, eating a lot of stuff is kind of, well, important to make sure that we keep ahead of our needs, our mantra needs, so. Okay, well that wasn't very nice. Do I Micro Nova and kill them? I think I do, but I'm gonna do it on Surf's turn because it'll do more damage, so let's see if it kills. It might with Surf's turn. Nah, not quite. Okay. I will keep that in mind for later. Let's It's not like they did a whole lot to me anyway. Alright, so the one on the left just got Dia'd, so it's like back up at crazy HP. So let's just end the lives of these ones over here first until we get to Gale's turn. We can do this. Get us a nice little press turn. Do this, and then kill the other one. Hey, Conquer, it's going good. How's it going for you there? Just hanging out in the underwater cable station. Everybody's got access to Devourer now, so we should be able to get quite a bit of good stuff going with our AP now. Arjula has leveled up. She got more magic, as usual, which is good. And, well, let's heal everybody up, top everybody off while we're at it. So we'll eventually be able to find a life terminal in this area, and that'll allow us to kind of heal everybody's MP back up closer to full. Because once we do that, we'll be in pretty good shape to actually, like, move back and forth between the save point and also devour things and keep our MP topped off rather than just kind of middling, so. Okay, Single Kaiwan is a new enemy for us. Weak to Agi, so we should be able to take care of him with no trouble whatsoever. Gale, if you please. Thank you. Just got back from doing a few chores. Nice, Conquer. Good. Glad to hear that those are all taken care of for you. Oh, we already mastered protection. Nice. Well, nice and not nice, because that means Gale's going to be missing out on a little AP, but that just means that Surf and Arjula just need to eat a little more instead of Gale, so no big deal. But yeah, it's good getting those chores out of the way then, I'm sure. That way it's, you know, out of your hair for the rest of the day. Got some quick data. Probably give that to Arjula because, well, the way that I'm going to be structuring my party, I'm going to have the fastest characters in the first slot of the party at all times, so basically they'll be the party leader. And spoiler alert, Arjula is going to be one of those two characters. She's not necessarily the quickest person in our party, but she's pretty close, all things considered, so I might even give that to her when she starts getting low on MP as well. But we also got a charge shot, so let me give that to... I'll give it to Surf. Excuse me. We won't be having Gale firing his gun for a little while at this point, so probably better just give that to Surf and move right along with our lives. Alright, back down and around we go. I didn't stop to listen to the music as much in the last episode. I had stopped at one point when I listened to the battle theme the first time, but this game's soundtrack is in the very similar veins to how DDS1's soundtrack was, which is to say that it's really good. So, yeah, it's if you don't want to, you know, hear it with my dumb ass speaking over top of it, I would definitely recommend looking up the soundtrack because it's pretty good. I can't get to Arjula's turn. Let her eat, so let's do this. Just get rid of that guy. That way she can get a little and Surf can get a bunch. So probably, yeah, I was gonna say get him up closer to where Arjula actually is now. So this is good. And by the time we get back to the save point, everybody should be just about done with the mantras that I have on them at the moment. So that's good. Do that. And then this. No frighten, so I guess I'll just do this. I'm probably going to play the eating game a similar way that I did to DDS1, where I don't really try to eat them unless they're, like, actually frightened. Because typically what ends up happening if I try to do that, like I try to eat them when they're not frightened, is I do just enough damage to not kill them, and then they just end up... I don't end up one-rounding them, basically, which is what I want. I want to one-round as many things as possible, so... Because you get the most money for that, you get the most bang for your buck, and that's what I want, so... Also, you know, you get good rewards, but in addition to that, you also get good MP back, too, so... You beat Unknown in KH1 yesterday after a few tries. Nice, Conquer! Congrats! That's a tough boss, so, good thing, then. Took me quite a little bit to get his patterns and everything down, so that's a good thing. Congrats on that, my friend. Surf mastered Shura, so that's good. Gale leveled up and got strength and magic. He also found another item for us. Yes, take their soul instead, or take their ration. That works too. All right, so we'll do this, and then Let's head back to the save point. We'll get Surf and Gale started on other stuff, and then we'll get Argela working on munching something so she can work on other stuff. And I think I'll use that quick data on her now, just so that way I can top her off a little bit. So there we go. And that should be plenty to get us to the life terminal, and she could appreciate the agility, so get mantras. Give me them mantras. Okay, so the Surf is actually almost done with his level 1s at this point. He only needs Spirit and also, what else does he need? He needs Spirit and he needs, that's it, actually. I think he's just, because he's done with Shura, he's done with Fire Spirit, so he just needs Spirit, and then after that we can start having him work on Adamant, which will give him access to Pulinpa very early, so... Almost had him a few times to literally one combo away, but he used that move and killed me. Oh, yeah, I remember that move. Oh. He has a couple of those that moves, but that one in particular, assuming it's the one with the, where he, like, messes up your command list, basically, because that's the one that always gave me trouble. And, yeah, that move is not fun. For Gale... We want Bolt Wizard, but he won't have access to 6 skill slots for a little bit. That is the one. Yeah, that's what I figured. So maybe I should do Ice Spirit for him so I can get him access to Fire Spirit, which is down here. And then I can work on Bolt Wizard and Fire Spirit after that. So I think we'll do that. Having that extra 20k, though, well, it's an extra $10,000 that we didn't have previously from importing DDS1 and having that million Maka in that game. It really helps with these early mantra purchases because, I mean, we'd have enough money for them, but we'd be pretty low on funds otherwise, so... Alright, let's get Spirit for Surf, and then Argela, you just need to finish up Dragon, and then we can move right along here. Between the two super bosses in that game, you much prefer Sephiroth. Yeah, I think what I mentioned when I played the game was that Unknown feels like they imported a Kingdom Hearts 2 boss into Kingdom Hearts 1 where he can move like in KH2 and you're forced to use KH1's movement and attacking mechanics against him. And it just doesn't work as well as Sephiroth, because Sephiroth, it's like you're still on an even playing field because he moves and attacks you like every other Kingdom Hearts 1 boss, whereas Unknown just kind of does whatever he feels like, you know. It feels like he has an unfair advantage in his movement mechanics compared to Sephiroth. At least that's what I think, anyway. So, okay, let's see. Let's give them a solid Miragi. That takes care of one of them, and Gale can probably finish this other one, but I think it might be better to try to have Argela do it, so let's do that. Yeah, there we go. Because now I can run back to the save point and get her next mantra. I think that should give her enough. Yeah, that'll give her enough. Yep. She's got Zan and Void Force now. That's good. Let's grab this. Okay, some firewalls. I don't keep those in my inventory. I usually try to, like, use them rather than using, like, Void Fire. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're basically just clutter. They don't sell for much, and they're good in the early parts of the game, but by the time we get access to the later portions, like even in the mid-game, it's better to have a repel or a drain skill instead of having those walls in your inventory. So I will probably get rid of them ASAP. Alright, Argela's got Dragon. What's she want next? I guess I could do Bolt Wizard for her for now, since Gale's not working on it. That way she can gain access to Zeo, and then we'll have access to all 5 elements, and we'll be in good shape. So that's that. I also might switch skills for Gale a little bit here, so that he has access to Dia, since he's not currently working on Zeo, and Argela's working on it, so she can kind of set that instead of Dia, and then we can actually use some of Gale's MP for something else. So I guess I'll just set it instead of Mad Rush for now. Just get rid of these exclamation points while I'm at it too. Yeah, that's probably fine, and we'll put Mad Rush back on once he gets to level 10 and he gains access to 6 skill slots. That's actually a really nice thing at this point in the game, having access to 6 You don't realize from the first game where it's like you get into the second dungeon and like within a couple of rooms of the second dungeon you're already at level 10 and you've got those 6 skill slots. In this game you kind of have to work for them a little bit more, and it's really nice once you get them, because then all of a sudden it feels like your whole world opens up. You've got access to a whole bunch of extra space that you didn't before, so yeah. Excuse me. They do that a lot in DDS 2 though, like in DDS 1, more often than not you'd end up being like, by the time you got access to all characters in DDS 1, you were in the high 30s in level. At least that's where I was when we played it for the stream. So some of the things that you have to worry about when you're at a low level, you don't appreciate necessarily, like you do in this game, where you don't have access to all of those fancy tools and toys that you had. So, what do I do here? Let's see. I could use a Sonic Stone since they voided fire. We got a couple of them, so we might as well, right? Sure. Let's see if Gale can munch. And then Argela, you don't have to munch just yet because your MP's doing pretty good, so maybe I'll be able to kill one of them. Just see how much HP he has. Yeah, so Surf should be able to devour this one. Yeah. Cool. Marie, hello, welcome. You're late, started 14 again, learned of a new achievement you want to get. Solo the 200 floors of Palace of the Dead. Oh, that'll be fun. Yeah, how is that going for you? But welcome. Welcome. We're just working our way through the underwater cable station. We basically made it from... Where was the last save point that we stopped at? I feel like it was down. Yeah, it was down there. So we just made it from there up to here, and now we're going to work our way forward in the dungeon. So you haven't missed too much. We've mastered a few mantras, but other than that, not too much. How are we doing anyway on those? Oh, we're still in good shape. I didn't look after the battle there. I just kind of mashed buttons to get through it. Finished 21 to 30 just now. That's good progress. That is good progress. So hopefully it all works out for you. That's a challenge and a half, though, if I recall correctly. So it should at least keep you busy for a little while. Okay, and this one's weak to wind. Power. Argela can probably eat this one. I gotta take advantage of Argela being able to eat things at somewhat low HP before we get access to a certain ring that I'll be equipping on her later that will make her a little bit less physically powerful, so. Level 48 Machinist, the one job you have no idea how to play this job. They won't stop changing how it plays. Oh, you were at 81 to 90, but you wanted to start over. Nice. Well, Machinist is a good one to do it with because, like, you can erase 75% of an enemy's health bar with a reassembled drill as you go along in there. So that usually that helps out quite a bit with making sure that enemies don't murder you in the process. So, but yeah, Machinist plays it's pretty simple to play, at least from what my experience with it is. It's pretty easy. It's kind of got a 1-2-3 combo, and then you just reassemble its big stuff, and that's about it. So it's not as complicated as it used to be, that's for sure. I'm not sure if Surf can eat this one. I'll just boofle it, I guess. He can eat it if it's frightened, but not if it's not, so. And we might want to go back to the save point, actually, because Surf is almost done. Yeah, I want to go back to the save point. He's almost done with Spirit, so then I'll definitely want to go back and get him working on Adamant as soon as possible, because once we get access to Adamant, he'll be in really good shape to start doing some fancy combos in the next dungeon. And once I get access to that combo, you will see how much more trivial I'm going to make most of the encounters, thanks to my high vitality and magic stat, and also, in addition to that, having access to a combo that I didn't gain access to until the middle of the 4th dungeon, or near the end of it, the last time I played, so. Alright, let's just run around here for a hot minute until we get done with Spirit for Surf, and then we'll be in good shape. Probably try to run towards the save point that's beyond the section that we were just in after this, I think. Just see if we can make it there. Okay, he's frightened. Maybe I'll just soften him up for Gale. Yeah, there we go. Never having to figure out how to fit as many skills as possible into your wildfire window? Yeah, that's not a thing anymore. No more carpal tunnel for machinists. You just have to get your 5 heat blasts or auto crossbows in, and that's it. Because if you try to fit in like all the Gauss rounds and everything else like that, it doesn't do additional damage in a wildfire window, so... And I still get people on the internet telling me that that's not true and you have to try to fucking carpal tunnel in those 7 seconds. It's like, no. Are you out of your goddamn mind? I don't play this game to not be able to move my hand when I'm 60. Okay, anyway. Let's get Spirit done for Surf. Now we have access to Terukaja if we really wanted it for the next boss fight, but we probably won't need it. Buffs are good, but not really until you get access to, not this one, but this one, because this one has Tsukakaja in it, as I recall, and we'll eventually work on that. But for now, let's get access to Adamant so we can get access to Pulinpa. Stun Sphere is nice as well, but not as nice as Pulinpa, so... You may recall when we played Persona 5 for the stream that we did some Pulinpa strats to get enemies to drop money, and that's not really exactly the strat this time. We're not doing it to get them to drop money. We're just doing it to murder them faster. So, yeah, we'll work on that, though, as we go. That's why I want access to Angel, the Angel mantra for Gale and Argela as well, because that is the second part to the Tentara Fu combo that I will showcase, maybe not this time, but probably, actually definitely next time, because we'll definitely be done with the underwater cable station and moving right along with our lives by next time. Gale's almost done with Ice Spirit, so I'm going to stick around here for a hot minute until he's done. That was still relevant for your current run? You just discovered how good Heat Blast is about 10 levels late. Well, better late than never, though. And Heat Blast is really solid as well, so it's really good to keep around, you know what I mean? So, I will do this. Soften this guy up. We'll let Gale munch this guy. There we go, because he's got enough power to actually eat them, even if they're not quite softened up, and then we can do this. End the battle in one turn, and still get everybody a little AP. Alright, so Gale's done with Ice Spirit. Argela's halfway to Bolt Wizard. I might just let her like keep going after this, so that way we can give her access to Zio and everything. But we'll go to the next save point basically before I start worrying about her learning anything new after this. Surf is fine for a while because level 2 mantras take a significantly longer period of time in this dungeon to get than the level 1s. So, all right, even levels. So 3 magic, 21 magic at level 10, and we have access to 6 skills now, so that's pretty good. Now Surf found something. What'd you find? A revival bead. Nice. I'll take it. Excuse me. You'd be the one person who would hate being a scorpion person like that. You'd feel so useless. I don't know. I feel like if I'm going to have a demon form, I would need to have a demon form where it was like similar enough to my human form where I wouldn't get confused, you know what I mean? Because I feel like if you were constantly switching back between something that walked on like 4 legs or more, and then you suddenly swapped back to something that walked on 2 legs, like, your brain would occasionally get confused and start walking on the wrong number of legs, you know? They'd be like, wait, I was a scorpion a minute ago. Why don't I have 8 legs all of a sudden? Like, I feel like your brain would just go into overdrive trying to figure this shit out. So, let's see. You don't need Fallen Hero because you're not working on healing magic. So we'll just get you... We'll get you Fire Spirit, I think, next, right? Yeah, then we'll get you Bolt Wizard, and then we'll get you Angel, so that way you're up close and personal with all that stuff. For Argela, we're going to go back around to Ice Spirit and Shura before we get her Angel, so... Alright, Fire Spirit it is. Here you go, Gale. So there's that, and we'll see how much AP I get for Argela between now and getting to the stairs there, or the ladder, and then I'll know whether or not I want to turn around and, you know, go from there. You'd want to be an antlion? Antlions are cool. I could see it. Yeah, I feel like I'd have to be bipedal or else I'd get really confused. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. So Surf gained access to 6 skill slots, and unfortunately he's the one where that's the least useful because he has the least number of level 1 skills to actually put them to use. But I'll do the best I can to fill out the space that we have, I suppose. Let's put Makajam above Terukaja for now. I guess I could put one of these on there, but that's not really that useful to him right now, especially at only 4 strength. Like, that's the equivalent of just doing his regular physical attack to everything, so... I mean, I guess with Mad Rush that could be useful, but it's fine. Enemy combo attack, Mabufu. Oh good, the Hee-Ho ring came in handy there. It didn't frighten them all, but hey, I'll take what I can get. Yeah, let's do Miragi for now since we can't Mazan yet, and that'll just get rid of them. I gotta remember that because Surf just murdering them flat out like that might be a little bit less than ideal in terms of gaining AP, but oh well. You probably also want to be bipedal. Yeah, I don't know, Conker. I think I'd just get, like, my brain would just get really confused if I wasn't bipedal. Opens up the ability to have, like, weapons in my arms or something like that, too, or weapons on my arms. I don't know. I guess I haven't given it enough thought to really know what kind of a demon I would want to be if we were able to swap into one. Maybe if I played D&D more, this wouldn't be a problem. Okay, we got a Vital Ring from that one, so I'm actually going to give that to Argela and swap out the Hee-Ho Ring, and we'll give that to Surf. She needs the Vitality more, and Surf having Ice Nullification will probably help us in a few places, so yeah, we'll do that. And I'll use a Ration, top Gale off, just so we're in good shape there. Alright, now let's make a beeline for the bottom of this section, because we keep going that way, we're going to get to the next save point, and that's where I want to be, so I can learn more mantras, so... Get used to it, want to have more legs, maybe even a tail. Also, antlions are uber underrepresented. Yeah, they use them a lot in, like, old Final Fantasy games, but beyond that, I haven't really seen antlions in a lot of video games, now that I think about it. It's mostly just in the Final Fantasy series where you see them actually being put to use as enemies or anything like that, so... Okay, a little bit of variety here. We got a Ghoul, and we got a Mizuchi, so I guess I'll do... one of these, and then we'll do a Zan on a Mizuchi, and hopefully that'll leave it so Argela can eat it. She should be able to. There we go. And she should be done with Bolt Wizard now, so now I just gotta see where I am on the map versus where I want to be. So Zeo and Void Electric for her. She also just leveled up, which is really nice for her, because that means now she has access to 6 skills, and now we can set Zeo for her. Oh, not again. For some reason, Surf, you got a weird fetish, bro. Like, I don't even want to... I'm not even going to front with you. You got a weird fetish if that's what you're looking at. Whatever. Anyway, Argela coughed up a Disache for us, so that's fantastic. I'll set Zeo for her. We have Zan as well, but I'll set Zeo for her for now just because we don't have access to it any other way. And Zeo and Terra is actually pretty good because it is a combination that allows us to... have access to all 5 of the Ma skills, along with Agi and Bufu for Surf, and then Zan on one other character, so now we can use any of the Ma skills that are available to us. And in addition to that, I'll set Patra. We might wound it. And then for Gale, yeah, it's pretty much just what we've got here. We'll work on getting him something else. Oh, hang on. Get rid of these exclamation points. There we go. Yeah, we'll work on getting him something else once he gets access to those 6 skill slots, but for now he doesn't, so we'll just do the best we can with what we've got. Surf is into some weird shit, man. he's got something going on in his brain, I'll tell you what, and I don't know if I understand it. Oh, they're in Golden Sun? Okay, nice. Yeah, cool AF. Yeah, they're cool in any case, really, but yeah. I don't know. I like them. They're cool animals. It's just, you know, like you said, not really represented in a lot of games, I guess. So I probably should have just had Gale eat that guy, because he needs it a little bit worse than Surf, so he can start working on his level 2s. I gotta keep that in mind. Although this next section of the dungeon is actually a pretty long and roundabout thing, so it'll be a little easier to get all of our level 1s that way. So, alright, I'm gonna explore this room in a second. Let me just make a beeline for the save point, so... Gale can get done with what he needs to get done with. We can Mazan, so let's do that. Get them within eating range. Very good. So now Surf and Gale can both get some MP back, and also Gale can work his way closer to Fire Spirit. Hopefully he'll be just about done with that by the time we actually get to the save point. So yeah, I hear pretty often that Digital Devil Saga 1 and 2 both have really high encounter rates. And I would agree with that, actually. I think it does have a high encounter rate. I just respect the fact that in this game, the high encounter rate is there for a reason, and the reason is because you want to be constantly eating things for a story purpose, so you don't go insane, but also for a mantra mastering mechanical purpose, so that you can keep mastering all these fancy new skills that you keep gaining access to. So, yeah, I don't know. It's there, but it doesn't bother me, to be honest, I guess. Maybe I'm weird, I don't know. Oops, that's the wrong grid. Shura and Ice Spirit, I think, are what's left for Argela in terms of all of that stuff. Yeah, it is the one time where you don't want to Estoma. Yeah, like when you're learning stuff that's like... Since we're learning all of our level 1 mantras at this point, we definitely don't want to Estoma, so that way we can get them all done and we can keep moving along. And really, throughout the game, because of the way that some people want to prioritize certain skills to make things easier later on in the game, excuse me, I found myself surprised at how little I actually ended up using Estoma spray over the course of the game, but we'll talk about that a little later once we, gain access to more Estoma spray. We don't get access to Estoma spray in the shop until we get to rank 5, so that's a pretty long ways away, but we'll figure it out as we go. No big deal. Alright, so Ice Spirit for Argela. We'll keep working on Gale's stuff in a moment. Eventually he'll get access to Fire Spirit, but first I'm going to go back to the rooms that we were just in, I think, and then I'm going to explore them fully. This room and the one previous to this, just to map them all out. Let's grab this. Still find it funny that you guys are hacking the Karma terminals to get mantras, but no one has caught on. Must be a secure AF backdoor. There actually is kind of, it's not explained in the story, but there actually is a story reason for why nobody's caught on. We'll talk about it in a little while. So, uh-oh. We've gone berserk! Yeah, so one of the new mechanics in Digital Devil Saga 2 is that when solar noise is at or close to maximum, you can no longer control the power of the demons inside of your characters, and you enter a berserk state, which is a half-human, half-demon state. The way that it works is that you gain access to an incredible amount of physical power, so your attacks do like more than double damage, almost like if you had a power charge on every one of your physical attacks. They also ignore enemy defenses, which means anything that has a repel for this, it doesn't repel it anymore. Unfortunately, you also have like Tsukikaja -3 on you, so Secunda, 3 Secundas on you, because you can hardly hit things, you don't have access to your spells or combos. You can use items, but they still have the problem of the accuracy that you have, so. And if you win this fight, you get more than double the karma that you would normally get, so you get a lot of experience points. Unfortunately, it doesn't change your AP draw from the battle, so because of that, I don't care. But the saving grace about Berserk mode, and the reason why I actually don't mind it as much as I did when we played this blind, is that you have a 100% run capacity when you are in Berserk state. You will never fail running from the enemy when you are Berserk. Which is nice, because that means that I can actually run from things and not have to worry about setting quick escape in most cases. So, hey, I'll take it, Atlas thought this through? Surprising, huh? Yeah. Oh, it's Atlas. They think a lot of their stuff through, or at least in some of the older games, they definitely thought through most of their story elements, so. Why is this game actually well designed? PS2 Atlas game, so yeah, but there you go. Again, we were in Berserk mode, so now we can actually just run from anything while we're in Berserk mode. And it's actually funny because when you play through this game and you beat it, if you play a New Game Plus file, you may recall in the first battle that we fought against those 2 ghouls, that the one dropped a He-Ho ring for us. Well, when you fight those 2 ghouls again on New Game Plus, they actually drop another ring for you, and it's called the Berserker Ring. And the Berserker Ring, what it does is whenever the character that is wearing it is participating in a battle, it causes your party to be berserk, which means if you ever want to do a low-level game of this game, you just got to beat it normally the first time and then just wear the Berserker Ring for every random battle, because then you can run away from everything with an 100% guaranteed chance. So then you only have to do the battles where you're forced to, like these ones behind doors where there's a strong presence, or boss fights. So it's very low-level friendly, and that's surprising, although at this period of time, a lot of game companies that were making JRPGs were starting to catch on to the fact that people like playing through the game low level. So they did stuff like that in Final Fantasy X, and they did stuff like that in this game as well. So yeah, it's a very well-designed game, all things considered. So I'm impressed, frankly, with all of the nifty little tricks that they did to make it so that you could play it any way you wanted. Now, you do have to beat the game normally in order to gain access to low-level mode, but hey, that's not a big deal. Because they tried back then? True. That is fair. Yeah, we're here now. You guys haven't played Jak 2 in a while, have you? It's surrender and die. But you will surrender and die as well in just a moment once I'm done with you. Oh good, no poison. Yeah, that Void Fire ain't really gonna help you, sir, because you're still weak to Zan, and this guy's still weak to Terra. So we're gonna do something about that right now. I will say one of the things that I will take against DDS2 is the fact that DDS2... actually, I'm going to have Gale eat this guy, I think. One of the things DDS2 doesn't do that DDS1 I found did a little bit better is that these forced battles, usually in DDS1 when you were forced to encounter something, it was because they were introducing you to a new enemy or a new enemy combination, or they were going to do something, a new mechanic in battles that you hadn't seen before. In DDS2, most of the forced battles are just the same trash packs that you've been fighting throughout the dungeon this whole time, so they're really kind of underwhelming, frankly. And I don't know, I think I prefer it the way DDS1 did it, where it wasn't just trash packs that you've already fought 8 or 9 times on your way here, so... Uh-oh, they severed the cables! Yeah, most likely to keep us from moving along. So yeah, the reason why this section of the map drags a little bit, well, it drags but it doesn't at the same time, is the fact that now you have to travel all the way back to the repairman to tell him that the cables were severed so that he can come back here and then fix them for you. So it drags, but it gives you a little bit more time to kind of master mantras, which I can appreciate, so... And we'll eventually go down there. We don't need to go there yet, but there is a life terminal right here, so I'm going to use it while I'm at it, and then we'll get Gale a new mantra once we go through the door. I'm going to try to avoid using life terminals every single time I see them, though, because with ingest mana, we don't need to heal when we've just got a little bit of MP missing, because we can usually top off our MP pretty good as long as we can keep eating. So, yeah, I'm going to try not to use them every single time, because I feel like I'll save several $1,000s over the course of the playthrough by not using them every single time I come across them, so... I'll just try to use them when it feels like it's more necessary. Alright, so Gale's got access to Fire Spirit now. He already did Ice Spirit to get here, he already did Protection, so now we just need Bolt Wizard, and then after that he can work on Angel. And we can move right along from there. So let's get him Zeo. And then Argela is still working on Ice Spirit, so we'll let her do that. Surf can keep working on Adamant. He'll be good eventually. And like I said, if possible, I would like to master Angel for both Gale and Argela before we leave here. And that should be feasible. It's just going to depend on how much they eat. So we'll see what we can do as we go along here. And if I have to, I'll just double back to the save point because I've been eating enough. So no big deal. I think at the moment we want Argela to eat more than anybody else because Gale's already almost done with his level 1s. Once he gets Bolt Wizard done, he's done with level 1s, and Argela's still got Shura after this, if I recall correctly, so should probably try to have her eat more. So that's what I'm going to do. It's just that she has access to some really solid skills to deal damage to a lot of the stuff that we're encountering, so let's just do this to soften that guy up. Let's see if Gale can eat this thing. I know I just said I was going to have Argela do it, but I don't think Argela could have eaten that one, so... Unfortunately. Okay, well, Gale's getting there. Maybe I'll switch the party order a little bit so that Argela will have a better chance of being able to eat, because her being in the first slot kind of makes it tricky for her to eat in a lot of cases. Of course, if I switch her out, that'll also mean that I'll be running the risk of getting, not back attacked more, but enemies will get the first turn more often. So as you can see, she has 11 agility, which puts her in a really good spot in terms of having all that speed to let us keep ahead of the enemies. So maybe I'll leave her where she is for now. Alright, back back up here. Head back to the repairman. Slowly but surely work on our mantras as we go, and we'll be in good shape. If I remember right, he's just like right over here, isn't he? Yeah, he should be right about, well, no, not right there, but should be close to there. Okay, so we want to Agi this guy. That won't quite kill him, but it will put him in range for Arjula to eat him, so that's good. We'll do this, and that should put that one definitely in range for Gale to eat. Actually, I'm going to have Arjula eat the Ampusa, because it's frightened, so there's no chance of it missing, and no chance of me not being able to devour it, so we'll do that, and then we'll do this. And there we go. Just keep both of them working on their level 1s. Once they're done, they can work on a level 2, and we'll be in good shape. Okay, so they're getting there. I might stick around here for just a minute because I want Gale to get access to Bolt Wizard, and then I can buy him Angel. So we'll see if we can get him to eat in such a way that he'll gain access to that. Once I get my turn, that is. Well, at least they didn't revert him so that he can't have that whole problem to deal with. All right, let's do this. Let's see, they're both frightened. We will, I'll use a ration on Gale just to burn the turn, basically. And we'll have Gale eat one, Arjula eat the other, Gale will master one, and Arjula will be close. And then we'll heal her after this fight as well. Yeah, so Arjula is one Devour away from finishing Ice Spirit, and then she can work on Shura, so that's good. Let's have her heal herself there. Maybe I'll even have Gale heal Surf just to top him off. There we go. Okay, so Gale's done with his level 1s now, right? Devourer's done, Ice Spirit's done, Fire Spirit's done, Protection's done, Bolt Wizard's done. Yes, so now we want Gale to work on Angel, and then immediately after he's done working on Angel, I want to start having him work on Fire skills until he gains access to Agi Lao. Gale, I think I mentioned it before, but Gale has the most, because of what skills he's going to have that he's going to be learning over the course of the game, he has the most number of mantras that I want to prioritize over the course of the game. He'll always be working on a priority until he gets those things, and then we can double back to the things that are at the same level. So like where some characters will be like, yeah, I just want to learn these one or two skills and then I'm good for the rest of the game, just learn whatever from then on. Gale will always be learning ahead of himself and then doubling back to the old mantras once he's got them because of what mantras I want him to learn. They'll always be important for him to be learning something new and more powerful than what we normally would learn, because it'll give us an advantage in the next dungeon. So let's give him Angel now that he's done with his level 1s. And then Arjula, once you're done with that, we'll just get you Shura, and then you'll be good to go, girl. And you can work on Angel as well. Let's save here, and then we'll head through the door, keep moving, see if we can get to the repairman. And yeah, so we'll get Shura for Arjula, then she can work on Angel, and once everybody's done with, well, Surf's done with Adamant, and Arjula and Gale are done with Angel, we can start working on other level 2s after that, so. Uh-oh, there's something else beyond this door, too. Hopefully it's not anything that's gotten into trouble with our repairman. Uh-oh. Don't tell them anything. Long enough to know that I'm going to kick your ass now. Okay, so here there are some new enemies. You probably, I mean, you may have encountered the Kaiwan before this. It's a bit rare in the section of the dungeon we've been in, but you probably haven't encountered shadows yet, so they're also here. I forget what Kaiwan's resistance to force is, but I'm going to check because I think yeah, these guys are weak to force, so that's good. Kaiwan's weak to fire, so we'll do that. Blast him into oblivion, and now I think... Well, definitely the guy on the left is in Devour range, so probably what I'll do is I'll just do this to get rid of the shadow. I'll have Arjula eat this one, and hopefully no stomachache. Good, good. And then we'll just blast this guy into oblivion with a fireball. And there you go. Hey, they gave us a clover even. Nice. And Gale got to level 10. All good. All good stuff. Arjula got Bufu and Void Ice. That's good. Gale got Vitality and Magic. That's good. And he can set 6 skills, which is also good. I wish the Karma Soldiers were more than grunts. Yeah, that would be nice. Again, it would be nice if they used them similarly to how they use the forced encounters in a lot of cases in DDS1, where they show you new enemy encounters or, you know, new groups. And they do that for the first couple of dungeons in this one, in some cases anyway. But by the time you get to the later portions of the game, they pretty much throw all pretense out the window and just say, hey, these are just trash packs. Just fight what you've already fought. So, yeah, it kind of sucks. It would be nice if there were more Karma Soldier officers, basically, because then you'd get more difficult fights out of them. So, yeah, that's us. You both look the same. I guess that makes sense. It would run in the family, so. Oh, yeah, they've been running amok in here pretty much. Actually, before you take off, yeah, they kind of cut some, yeah, wiring up ahead, so if you don't mind coming with us to fix it, we would appreciate it. Cool, thanks, man. So now the repairman's brother will actually help us to fix the severed cables that are over there. And then that'll lead us to the final little quote-unquote puzzle of the dungeon, and by puzzle I mean we just need to hit a couple of switches by going around and around and around in a couple of different staircases and ladders, and then we'll be done with the dungeon. But that takes longer than I'm making it sound like it will. Long enough for us to finish all these level 1s and really start working on the level 2s as well, so. If you don't get access to Angel, by the way, by the time you're done with the dungeon, don't worry about it too much, because early on in the next dungeon, we're actually going to have to work on a few mantras anyway, like right when we start the dungeon. You'll see why once we get there, but yeah, there will be time to finish this up if you don't get done with everything by the time you're done with this dungeon. I would like to, because it would make those things a little easier to do, but it's kind of hard to explain without actually getting to the next dungeon, so don't worry about it for now. But if you don't finish up what I'm telling you I want to finish up by the time we get there, it's not a huge deal. Let's set 6 skills for Gale while I'm thinking about it. Do I want Zio on him? I guess I'll stick Patra on him, because that'll help a little bit, just in case Argela gets confused. And actually thinking about it, elemental skill, AoE physical, Dia, and then something else is going to be pretty much Gale's moveset for most of the game now that I think about it. Eventually we're going to gain access to Terrunda, and Terrunda will replace Patra there for his skill set. But after that, it's pretty much going to be this, and then once we get Iron Stomach and AP Divide, we'll be sticking those in there along with Devour and the above skills from there, and Ingest Mana, so. Despite the fact that Gale has high priority skills to learn, his moveset in dungeons will mostly look very similar through the entire game, I guess. So, let's see, we already went down there and got the shots. Now we just need to go back to the next save point and fix up the power cables that are there. Yes, the payables, MCR, that's what I was about to say because my brain was moving too fast. Absolutely. Oh well. Anyway. Let's just head this way and keep moving along. Also, I think, if I recall correctly, now that you've encountered the shadows and the Kaiwan in battle there, they can actually be encountered more frequently over the course of the dungeon now because you encountered them in battle already, in that forced battle. So, yeah, there's that. What do we want to do here? I definitely want Argela to eat at least one of these guys, so maybe we'll have Surf try here. Okay. It did in fact work. That is good. Why don't you top off Surf there, Gale? Use your MP for something, and we'll do this. There we go. And yep, that will get Argela moving. Basically, it's like 2.5 Devours, essentially, will get you your level 1 mastered in this dungeon. Wish it was a little more even, but I mean, that would only be there to, you know, save my OCD, I guess. So. Okay, press turn galore. Pulin Pa. Please no. And no more press turn galore. Good. I still have Patra set, so let's do that. And then we got... you can't Mazan, can you, Surf? No, you can't. Okay, well, let's just do this then. Oh, okay, fine. Hard mode. Just rub it in my face while you're at it, why don't you? Just do this. There we go. And then I will ration use my rations, and then do this. Get rid of you, and then get rid of you. There we go. Sometimes they move to the right a little bit when you eat them like that because of the camera angle, and it makes me think that they're dodging the attack again, and it just... I'm ready to get upset again, but I'm not that kind of upset, just like, oh my god, come on now. Like that Italian kind of upset where it's like, come on, you know, that kind. Where it's not actually serious, it's just like, are you serious? That sort of thing. What am I looking for? Okay, you're almost done with Shura, so just eat one more thing and you'll be done with it, and then you can work on Angel. And then we'll be all ahead full to start moving along with the dungeon without having to keep circling around save points until we, you know, get what we want. I'm actually going to go over here and have him repair the thing since the enemies took it easy on me in that room. So, there we go. Think you can repair it, sir? Hopefully. I see the problem. Let me just get these spare cables out of my pocket. You actually do carry spare wire with you. As an electrician in training, you do actually carry a bunch of spare wire with you. Now, most wires aren't 1 inch thick like those ones. Actually, those might even be bigger than an inch thick. There must be some serious cable work inside of those things if they're that thick. Like, most of the wire that you carry around is just a standalone electrician is like this 14 gauge copper wire, which is basically a little bit thicker than like a couple of strands of hair, essentially. Actually, that's not quite right. It's more like a little thin strip of graphite in a mechanical pencil. It's about that thick. So, but those must be some serious cables in there if they're that thick. Usually, you only need them to be that thick if they're running something like... Well, really, if you're running something like a fiber optic cable, you would want something that's that thick because... or a stranded cable of some kind, because stranded cables are a bunch of... It's not stranded as in, like, isolated. You can use it to isolate stuff, but stranded cables literally means little strands of copper wiring, so... Yeah, so wire wheel. Yep, exactly. And depending on which one you get and what you're using it for, it could be either thin or thick. If you're going to use it for, say, like a doorbell or a thermostat, you're going to have really thin copper wire. Whereas if you're using it for something like a car engine, of course, it would be a lot thicker because there's more stuff running through it, and you don't want to fry the copper on the inside before it reaches its destination, you know. So there's your electrician's corner with MCR for the day. Yeah, you too, man. Stuff around here don't mess around, so... Okay, but this barrier is closed, so for us to fix that, we're going to have to go down and around and all over the place here. Before I do that, let's just, see if we can get into an encounter so Arjula can finish up what she's doing, so... Oh, and don't get used to getting into encounters and having the advantage immediately like we've been doing here. Are you... I don't remember what you did to go through. Because starting in basically the next dungeon, things start to get the jump on us a little bit more. Just take my word for it for now. We'll get there, you know. Excuse me. Now, those shadows are pretty nice because they'll drop chakra drops for you, so that's pretty good. You gotta watch, though, because certain enemy types, I believe haunts, vials, and nethers, are the kinds of enemies that you want to be careful of if you don't have Iron Stomach, because certain types of enemies actually have a higher chance of giving you a stomach ache than others. Now, those shadows are brutes, so they're not included in that, but stuff like those Kaiwans, yeah, they have a higher chance of giving you a stomach ache than other enemies do because of their class. They're made of, like, foul or rotting meat, so, you know, your stomach wouldn't appreciate that as much. Like messing with stuff, but you don't think you can make it a hobby or a job. I mean, it's not too bad. It's just practice moving from, you know, just messing around with stuff to doing it in a professional setting. We messed around with stuff with these, like, little 555 timers and breadboard wiring before we started really doing a whole bunch of actual residential and commercial wire work. So, yeah, it just depends, you know. Just depends on what you want to do with it and if you want to do anything with it. But, I mean, it's not a bad hobby either if you just want to mess around with little wires. That's a cool little thing to do, too, so. Okay, let's get Arjula working on Angel now that she's done with Shura. That's all of her level 1s, right? Devourer, Shura, Ice Spirit, Dragon, and Bolt Wizard. Yep. So she can work on Angel, and then after that, probably just have her work on getting to Zanma as quickly as possible. And then for Surf, I think I want him to do Agilao. Basically, Agilao, Zanma, and Tarazi are our next ASAP skills to learn once we get access to the Tentara Fu combo here. So, kind of want to get into lockpicking because of the lockpicking lawyer. Well, yeah, I mean, he makes pretty entertaining videos, so I can't say I'm shocked at that. It's a pretty cool thing. I mean, learning how to do that stuff. And you could become a pretty successful locksmith just from learning what he does and then, you know, kind of applying it to a practice, I suppose. So, I say go for it. Because the more you know about locks, obviously, the better off you'll be at being able to unlock things for people or make locks on stuff. So, you might even be able to make a better lock than, you know, what people have conceived of previously, depending on your skill and experience with locks. So, lockpicking seems fun, especially since you kind of wanted to learn it anyways. Yeah, locks are pretty interesting. It's a very neat little gadget. So, how do I want to do this one? We don't have... Oh, we do have landmines. Okay. Well, maybe this will be fine then. We'll just throw our landmines. Since we're in human form, we're not going to be eating much. So, get rid of them! We also have 7 ice blasts, so I'll have to keep that in mind as we go here. Because those will probably come in handy for killing things. You could hold on to those ice blasts if you want for much later in the game, but yeah, you don't got to worry about it too much. I thought I was going to have to, but as it turns out, the section I was worried about was only like 1 floor of a dungeon, so yeah. You love how you were right and Master Lock effing sucks. Well, they're kind of cheap, you know what I mean? So that's why schools buy them all the time, because they're just cheap and easy to get, you know? So they're like, it's whatever. Who's going to go lockpicking around a school or anything like that? We'll catch them and throw them in detention. Yeah, maybe. Maybe you will. Ooh, nice, we got rid of one of them. Wow. So they must have like 70-something HP. Sure, I'll have Surf eat one. Maybe there's like a radiant range of HP that they have. I was going to have Argela eat one as well, but Gale's a little lower on MP, so... But yeah, maybe there's like a radiant amount of HP that they have. Like maybe they have like within a certain range, like maybe it's 75 to 80 or something. I don't know. I'd have to look into that a little more. Okay, odd level, so +2, +1. And then even level will get us to 25 magic next, and then we'll be in pretty good shape. Oh, I went this way without hitting the switch. That's my bad. Ah, well. It'll get us a chance to learn some mantras a little quicker, and they're the ones that we actually need now, so it's not like it's a long walk. And with big enemy groups like this, it should be a bit of a veritable smorgasbord for us, considering we got all this stuff here to munch. So, Surf, why don't you stand pat, because you're ahead of everybody else when it comes to adamant right now, so we'll let Argela and Gale feast, and then they can, you know, work their way up. But as you can see, you can keep your MP fairly close to maximum without really having to worry about it, as long as you're eating and basically whenever an enemy gets frightened. Even into the late game, because of the fact that even though skills gain higher costs, even into the late game, you'll still be able to eat things fairly reliably, so... once you get higher level physical eating skills, that is. So you don't really need life terminals terribly badly unless you're, like, just coming off a boss fight or something, basically. You're about to say, what are you doing here if that door is locked? Yeah, I'm forgetting that I need to unlock the door first. That's what I'm doing. Okay, and this is a luck ring, if I recall correctly. Unfortunately, you can't sell karma rings, because otherwise I would definitely sell the luck ring, because we will never use it. There are a few rings in the game that I'll be mainly using, but I don't know, a lot of them I don't end up using, especially the ones that give just flat stat bonuses. I'm more of a fan of the ones that unlock new things for you to do in battle that you didn't have access to before this, so, like, there's a ring that gives you increased defense in human form. I'm a big fan of that one. Well, I wouldn't say a big fan, but I'm a fan of it. So, I love all of the press turns that you're getting here. Could you not do that, please? I really actually need that turn. Okay, so let's do this. And get Gale up. And then we'll go from there. So then we'll get rid of... Which one do we want to get rid of? Those Gales can cast Zeo. And that would kill Gale, so... I got an idea. Let's do this. I was kind of hoping that he wasn't going to dodge, so that's good. And then use my other Sonic Stone. There we go. Now there's only one. And she can still kill Gale if she keeps Mazioing. That's fine. We might as well use those revival beads, you know what I mean? So, alright, so let's do this. And then I'm gonna try to Maka Jam her. Get her jammed up so she can't Zeo everything. Not that she actually did anything with it just there. So. Alright, well that encounter went south several times, but that's okay. Sometimes it'll happen, but you just gotta battle back, basically. It's no big deal. Recently unlocked a Fortune Ring and entry in Odyssey 5. Luck plus 11 and TP plus 50. That's pretty good. That's a pretty solid ring. It's a lot better than the luck ring that we just got. All that does is gives you luck plus 3, which in this game is like nothing, basically. Again, luck is... If this game's formulas are similar to Nocturne's, luck is severely truncated in most of the damage resolution formulas and everything else, so it's like... It's really never worth actually investing in. So much so that later on in the game, there's actually a point where you'll be getting luck data quite a bit, and it will finally get my luck into the double digits, so, for Surf anyway. Like, we won't even be investing in any way, so. Yes, for sure, the 50 TP is definitely very helpful. That will definitely make a big difference for the ailment-oriented classes, yeah, so. Even if the 11 luck doesn't necessarily come in handy, the 50 TP will. Okay, these guys can cast Tsukakaja, which is a little spooky, but I think we'll be okay. Let's see, one of them was not quite damaged enough, so let's do this. Excuse me, see if Gale can eat this one. Yep. And then this one should be damaged enough for Argela to finish him. Yep. Cool. And they're catching up, so Gale's almost caught up to Surf now, and Argela will get there. So, alright, let's hit this switch up, see what this one does. Ah, okay, so that will open up the gate that I was just over at, which will, as we can see if we go over here, hang on, let me hit this one while I'm here. This is one of, I think this is a two-part switch. Like, we need to hit this one and the one that's over here. Like, yeah, as you can see, that one gate that was closed off to us before when we were over at that ladder is now open, and there's another switch for this gate right in front of us behind that one. So now we just got to go back around and then we'll be good. Oh, 4 shadows. I'm totally unprepared for 4. Not. Okay, let's do this. And then, do I want to Mazan the rest of them? Or do I want to just Zan the rest of them? Or rather, Zan one of them and then go from there. I think I'll just do this. And then we'll let Argela eat the one that's frightened. And then we'll do this to get rid of the last one. There we go. It'll get everybody a little bit, but it'll give Surf and Argela quite a bit, so that way they can keep moving up. Surf's almost done with Adamant, so that's good. We also got $900 from that one fight, so that's not bad at all either. That's practically one singular mantra by itself at the moment. Well, one level 1 mantra, but you know. And Just Mana is OP. That's why I was so surprised that they, when we played this blind, that they give it to you from the first Devour mantra that you use. Like, holy shit. Like, again, this will carry us, just in Just Mana on its own, will carry us through the entire game when it comes to our MP needs for the entirety of the game, basically. So, yeah, it'll carry us all the way through. It's quite good. It's quite good. Let's have Gale and Argela eat, actually. Let Gale do this one, because that one's a little bit higher on the HP and not frightened, and this one's frightened, so you want to prioritize having Arjula eat the frightened ones because, well, she doesn't have as much strength as Gale does. Gale's got the power ring behind him, so his devours do a lot of damage by comparison to hers. So his does like 50 damage without them being frightened, so yeah. Or was I looking at that right? I don't know. We'll see in the next time we have Gale eat when they're not frightened, and we'll know a little better. Okay, Matera time now. Yeah, as you can see, the way that I've learned skills here is making it a lot easier for us to just spam our way through the fights now because we can just use our Moss skills and go from there. I like the combo system in this game. I don't think it's as good as, let's say, like Chrono Trigger's combo system, not combat system, combo system. But I don't know, this is a pretty solid second place, I would say, in my eyes. A lot of games don't get the combo systems right, and we've had this discussion previously, but yeah, I think this game does pretty alright for its combo system. Because it lets you set skills that aren't necessarily target all skills, but you'll still have access to them. You can use them to manipulate press turns and everything like that, so yeah, it's not bad. The skills don't necessarily do more damage than their actual counterparts, but in the case of something like, let's say, Tentara Fu, we will have access to Tentara Fu by the time we're done with this dungeon, which is a lot earlier than, say, when we would have access to it normally. You need to do a 5-star difficulty mantra that costs like $40,000 in order to gain access to Tentara Fu, and that's not going to be something we'll have access to until, I want to say, the second to last dungeon of the game with only a single character. So having access to Tentara Fu this early is almost absurd. It's almost to the point where it's OP, basically. As a matter of fact, if you're raising your magic and vitality the way that I'm doing it, it probably is OP, because it just... Wait until you see how much damage it deals, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it is pretty hard to top Chrono Trigger's combo system, that's true, yeah. A lot of games don't get it right, and again, it's weird to me that they got it so right in 1995, and other games have tried and haven't been able to follow suit. It's just, I don't know, it's just odd to me. You'd think they'd just learn from what Chrono Trigger did and say, hey, let's do something similar, but also iterate on it just a little bit so that it's improved in some way. I mean, it's hard to improve upon something that's so good, but, you know. Okay. Berserk mode battle, you know what that means. Run! So those will be a welcome respite for the entire game as we, when we get into Berserk mode encounters, because basically, unlike in Nocturne, where you absolutely don't want to get into a battle at maximum at the highest moon phase, in DDS2 you want to get into a battle as close to maximum solar noise as possible, because it means you'll be able to run away from stuff. And I don't know if you know this, but they kind of nerfed Quick Escape along with Devil Feast in this one, so... Okay, and there's the save point that indicates a boss fight coming up. It's behind that gate over there, so once we head over there, we'll make some preparations for a boss fight, so... But Bright and Dark Might, yeah, I know. Bright and Dark Might are good. I don't really use them, because I think they're almost as abusive as having Tentara Fu in the third dungeon in this game. As a matter of fact, they're probably more abusive, because you can use them throughout the entire game to just guarantee critical hits for yourself. So, I don't know. I think that's too OP. There are certain skills in certain RPGs where I'm just like, no, that's too OP, I can't use it. Like, Hastega. In a lot of the Final Fantasy games, I will not use Hastega because it's too OP. Like, being able to increase the speed of your party by that much with just one skill, I think is too overpowered. And I just don't. Honestly, I don't use it. I think it's too much. I'd rather just use Haste. Because it's less MP, and it feels less overpowered than just being like, nope, now my whole party is super fast. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just strange, but yeah, I've never been a big fan of Hastega. So, get used to not seeing time magic when we play Final Fantasy V. It's one of the new things Final Fantasy V does, and I probably won't use it all that much, now that I think about it. So, let's just get rid of you. And then... let's have Arjula eat this thing. Then she'll get a little closer. Heiska isn't too... Oh, she got a stomach ache. That sucks. Well, there's our first stomach ache of the game. We got dis aches, but yeah, now she won't get any AP for this battle. Oh, well. It isn't too OP in 12 when you fight anything that isn't story-related. That is true. That is very true. If you're fighting anything that isn't story-related, Heiska is really nice. But I don't think it's as OP in 12 as it is in 5. In 5, I think it makes too much of a difference with the ATB system. In 12, it gives you, like... I don't know the exact number, but I want to say it's like a 25% faster ATB gauge. So that's not much, you know? That's not, like... absurd amounts of extra ATB gauge that you're getting from that, so. Now to say you're fighting the elite marks without haste, you nuts. No, I will fight the elite marks with haste. Whether or not I use haste Ga is the question. Like usually if I'm fighting the elite marks, like the high level ones, like level 6 or level 7 ones, I will give haste to like my healer. But other than that, I'm trying to think if I just wear Hermes sandals instead when I need it. I mean, there's a lot of accessories in 12 that are very good that you would want to wear instead of the Hermes sandals, but sometimes it's not a bad idea to just wear one. Usually if I need it, I only need one anyway, so. Because other people are wearing stuff like, what is that one? Is that the Jade Bangle? The one that lets you, it guarantees, you won't miss, basically, in any way. The enemy can't parry or block your attacks. So, that's not bad for your DPS character. Usually for my tank, I have a bubble belt equipped, so yeah, it just depends. So yeah, bubble belt indeed. Yeah, usually I have that for my tank. So, and I usually also spread my party out like a lot in 12. Like when I'm fighting against stuff, I usually take the Tails games approach, where you have like, instead of it being one tank and 3 spellcasters, it's one tank and 2 spellcasters, quote-unquote. And by that I mean I'm using the strongest bow available to me and using a magic caster along with the tank. And the tank just sits there and is in close range. And that way it spreads you out for AoE skills and everything. It's a really nice way to do stuff. So that's the way that I prefer to play 12, is to have it like one tank character and 2 ranged characters rather than a bunch of characters up close, and then they all get hit by AoEs, and some of them don't have bubble belts equipped, so they get one-shotted, and that's no fun. I think you hardly ever used haste and its upgrades when you played 5 back then, so. Oh, I've never gotten Sightengrad, actually. Usually when I'm using a bow like that, I'll use something like a burning bow and fire arrows, actually. That's typically what I'll use in terms of the strongest bow available. I won't go get it early, but I will get it when it's more appropriate to get. Like, you can get the burning bow, like, really early in 12. And I don't usually do that. I'll usually wait to get it until it's, like, you know, more appropriate to get it. But I try to combo my ammunition with the... Like, because if you have the burning bow and the fire arrows, if I recall correctly, the arrows power up by 50%? I forget exactly how much it is, but I like to do combinations with armor and weapons like that, or ammunition and weapons in 12. Like, you'll have, for example, the White Mask, I think. It increases the power of your holy skills, and it's a mystic... a piece of mystic armor, so only certain classes can access it. So I really actually like the Ulan class, which is the Dragoon class of 12, to be mixed with the Bushi class, which is the Samurai class of 12, because if you do the Bushi class, it gives you access to mystic armor, and if you do Ulan, you get access to the Holy Lance. So Holy Lance plus White Mask, which gives it a 50% boost, means I'm basically hitting for 9,999 damage on anything that's weak to Holy. And I think there's also a way to power up the Water Katana, if I remember right, as well, with armor. I forget exactly. It's been a long time since I played 12. It's been a couple of years at this point, but yeah, I like that combination in 12, like where you can combine weapons and armor to get an additional boost to your elemental damage, because there are a lot of enemies in 12 that are weak to a particular element, so hitting them for excessive amounts of damage because you put your weapons and armor together right is a really good feeling. So, Kid U sold all the ammo types in 12. Oh, that's no good. You gotta keep the ammo. I mean, sometimes I sell old ammo that doesn't have elemental damage on it. I'll keep one that's like high-powered and neutral elements, but if it's like onion shot or something like that, and I've got, what is that, stone shot, then I'll sell the onion shot, but typically I keep the ammo. At least nowadays I do. When I was a kid, maybe not so much, but nowadays, yeah, I try to hold on to it. Okay, so we need to hit this switch so we can go back to the bottom section here. I wasn't smart as a kid. I only had like stone shot. Well, you had the most important shot then. If you had stone shot, you were good. That's the most important one, so. Not everything is weak to being gradually petrified, but it's one of the better status ailments in the game, so. I don't know how much I actually used Break, though, in 12. I feel like mainly in 12, I used, like... Which ones did I use mainly? I used Blind a lot. Why did I just use Matera there? They're weak to Zan. I'm not thinking. I used Blind a lot. I want to say I used Silence some as well. But I'm not 100% sure about that. Oh good, they didn't Sukakaja. That means I can do this now. Oil's another good one, yeah, because Oil is actually really solid if you're using fire skills, and again, if you're using Burning Bow. that does actually stack with Oil, because Oil and fire skills in 12 is like really, really high damage for not too much effort. If you can inflict Oil, then do it, because you'll deal a lot of damage, so. Uh-oh, Blood Curse, that's not good. At least it's not Wicked Curse. So we'll get Cursed from that, which is no good. So what Curse does is it'll actually make you take the amount of damage that you would normally deal can be basically almost reflected back onto you when you hit enemies. So we'd like to avoid that, so I'm just going to disc Curse before I Miragi and hit both of these guys for weakness hits. Or don't hit this Yomotsu Shikome, because why would I? Alright, so... Nah, Surf again. Damn it. I'll throw another one at him, that's fine. It's a good thing I bought a few of these. Alright, probably do this. There we go. Maybe Gale can eat her as well. Yeah, okay, good. I think he should be done with Angel, actually, now that he did that, so... to keep that in mind, and then we should be able to just get rid of this guy. Yeah. Yeah, he's done with Angel. Perfect, so now we can go work on something else. We can get him also working on Fire Demon, now that he's got that. You had Penelo as a black and red mage, used Oil on that fish boss in the Pharos. Penelo hit for like 50k on her Firagas. Boss was over fast. Yeah, I could imagine. If you're hitting for 50k on Firagas, yeah, that boss fight ain't gonna last long. So, but yeah. I think Black and Red Mage is how I also built Penelo when I played it, and it's probably how I'm going to build her when I do the playthrough as well. I have specific builds of for the characters that I use for everybody, like the Ulan Bushi combo I used for Vaughn in the playthrough that I did, the first time I played Zodiac Age. Basically what I like to do is I like to play it so that I don't overlap the classes. Like even the classes that aren't necessarily very good, I try to use them anyway so I don't overlap anything, so that way everybody does something different and everybody gets access to some good stuff, so. Remembered she had good magic from Kid U playing 12, turns out she had a good memory. Yeah, she's probably the best mage in the party, honestly, so. Vaughn was Ulan Knight for you. Ulan Knight is pretty good too. I like to vary up my armor a little bit though. So usually if I'm gonna use Knight, I use it in combination with Archer. So Knight Archer is like really solid damage dealer through the whole game, so. At least for me. Who else did I use? Balthier was pretty much always in my party because he's Balthier, so why wouldn't he be? So I usually had him be my tank. So I had him do like Shikari Foebreaker, I think. I think that was what I did. Because that's, like, it gets you access to some shields, which he needs. It gets you access to knives, which he needs as a physical tank. And then it let me free up some of the other stuff for, like, Bosch would be my Knight Archer. I think I made Ash my White Mage Machinist. And then Fran was Monk Time Mage? I forget if Monk is one of the classes, but, like, whatever the Monk equivalent is, and then Time Mage. So, International brought some fun changes as soon as they added a job system. Yeah, I'm Bosch von Ronsenberg of Dalmasca. Everybody looks at Vaughn like, what the hell are you talking about, kid? Yeah, I really like the international job system that they added for that version. Like, it made the Zodiac Age the best version of 12 that I had played, honestly. So, the job system is really nice. So, Okay, so Gale got Angel, so we need him to work on Fire Demon now. So let's go work on that. Try to get him to Agi Lao as soon as possible, and then we can double back and do the rest of his level 2s after that, so... Excuse me. But we definitely want to get at least Fire Demon done because, and I'll actually go look at it. We didn't look at the tutorial this time, but these purple mantras that you see here, as you can see, this one is not unlocked, even though we've unlocked adjacent mantras. So in order to unlock this one, we actually need to unlock and master all of the mantras surrounding it in order for it to be unlocked. So they're called esoteric mantras. So once we master Fallen Hero, Fierce Spirit, Fire Demon, Fire Spirit, Ice Spirit, and Protection, this one will unlock. And this one's the most important one because everybody's going to want this skill that's in this one. Ideally by the end of the 3rd dungeon. So that's my next priority, is by the end of the 3rd dungeon. I want everybody to have that skill. So, but we'll get there. Remember Elegant Tomestones of Esoterics? I feel like that was like a Moogle Tomestone event or something. Not recently, but maybe like several months back. I don't know, it's been a while. I wasn't in the game when Allegan Tomestones of Esoterics were in the game, but I feel like I was there for the Moogle event at least. Okay, so we go down here, we go up there, there's another save point, and we'll go from there. Maybe Argela will be done with Angel by that point, question mark? We'll see. For now, though, let's just get to Surf's turn so we can Miragi, and then get back around to Surf's turn so we can munch. Gale, I think you're good, actually, so we'll pass your turn, see if Argela can eat these things. Yeah. They got some HP, but not that much, apparently. Nice crit, Surf. I'll take that. You're sad that you missed out on Phantasmagoria Tomestones? Yeah, those are fun. That's a fun name, Phantasmagoria. There's your SAT word of the day. I actually don't even know if that's like an actual word. I know phantasm is a real word. I don't know if Phantasmagoria is just some fantasy label that they came up with or if it's an actual word. It is a cool and fun word, though, yeah. So, even if it's not necessarily a real one. So, let's go check this ladder before we hit up the save point. Why not? After I get lambasted by 4 shadows. Maybe I should go back to the save point. Maybe this is the game telling me I should go back to the save point. They Terukaja'd, so they shouldn't be that dodgy. Okay, good. Oh, and they're all frightened. Perfect. Well, smorgasbord time. Everybody take a munch. Except you, Gale. I need you to actually kill one of them so we have enough press turns here. Well, Surf's going to be pretty well ahead in terms of Fire Demon if he manages to eat all of these things. There we go. Pretty sure it is a word. Lots of games have used it and don't think it's fake or fantasy. Yeah, that sounds about right. Ooh, 4 chakra drops in that fight. Not bad. I don't know. Like I said, I know phantasm is a word, but it could be a word. You're probably right. So, all right, we will go to the save point. Spoiler alert: up that ladder there. I keep wanting to call them stairs. Up that ladder there is a boss fight, so we're gonna want to set a few skills while we're here. First things first. Instead of Patra, let's get rid of these exclamation points, but then set Terrunda for Gale. He has Void Expel as well, but let's stick that there and do that. Terrunda specifically will come in pretty handy for this upcoming boss fight that we're about to go into. So I do want to have a Void skill, though, for somebody set here. It doesn't matter which one. The next boss doesn't use any elemental skills. He uses physical skills. But I do want to have a Void skill, probably on both Surf and Gale. So I don't know, I guess Void Fire. We won't need Mad Rush, so... No, I feel like I do that in this game. We'll keep Dia, because that's probably going to come in handy for us as well. Actually, like Stun Spear and Pulinpa a little better than Maka Jam. Less enemies are vulnerable, or less enemies are weak to Maka Jam than they are to, like, Stun Sphere and Pulinpa. Although Stun Sphere and Pulinpa don't have damaging elements to them, so they're not that good, but they're there. And for Argela, well, we have Body Rush and Mad Rush, but those aren't really all that necessary. I'll just keep Patra for now, and that way we've got Medea. Oh, I need to set a Void skill for Surf as well, so we can do some shooting. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so we got some Void skills on Surf and Gale. Argila has the strongest ammo that we have available to us as well. So just to keep that in mind for this next fight, because the next fight is actually weak to Earth. So we're going to want to, be able to shoot him pretty good. And Argila's got some pretty good damage behind her with the Frigid shot and us letting her do Earth shots, so... You love learning the naming systems for Magic in games. Kaja is for you, Kunda's for the enemy. That's how you learn that. Yeah, that's a pretty good way of learning it. Yeah, that Kajas are you, and then Kunda's are the enemy. So that usually tracks pretty well. Matter of fact, I don't think there's any situation where that's not true, even in some of the older SMT games. So, matter of fact, even going back to like the MT games, before it was Shin Megami Tensei, there were Megami Tenseis as well. But that's going way back, so... You need to relearn the dot hack spells. You only remember Juke Zot. I'll tell you which game I always had difficulty with remembering the skill names, and I think it was because you could rename the skills. I always have trouble remembering the skill names in Wild Arms, specifically Wild Arms 3, because that's the one that I actually played. But in Wild Arms 3, you can rename the spells, so I would always rename them to like Final Fantasy names or something, so I don't ever remember what the actual spells are. So... And I don't think they're any complicated names or anything like that. It's just, they're not, did I save? I forget if I saved. I'm gonna go back and save. Pretty sure I did, but better safe than sorry, I guess. Yeah, I always have trouble remembering those because you can rename them, so I just forget. Okay, so now we have access to 10 Tarafu. Why is this busted? Well, let's take a look at it. So this deals moderate damage, so the same power as a level 2 spell, like let's say Agi Lao, Terazi, that sort of thing. That amount of damage. It's Mind Elemental, which very few enemies in the early dungeons resist, and it has a small chance to panic every enemy on the field. Now, I'm not going to use it here. We don't need it just yet, because these enemies we can just kill with Matera and then eating them. But when we start to use it in the next dungeon, you will see why I wanted it so badly. It is... atrocious. We'll just call it that. We'll call it atrocious and we'll be done with it. But this battle will get us a little bit of extra AP, so that's not bad. Argila will probably finish up Angel from the boss fight, so that's good. And we'll be at close to maximum MP as well for this, so... Oh, she mastered Angel. Nice. Well, we can have her start working on the next thing, then. And we'll have 2 Terundas for the boss fight now, so that's also pretty good. As a matter of fact, let me set that right now. We don't need Patra that badly. So, oh, hang on. Void Expel, Terunda. Alright, so we'll keep Terunda, and then we'll go from there. Alright, now we'll save again, and then we'll go fight the boss. And after that, well, we just got a little bit of ways to go, and we'll be in the 3rd dungeon. We're moving right along very smoothly. It's about to get a lot harder because of the fact that the next dungeon is where the enemies start lambasting you and getting first strikes all the time, because that's how it was in DDS1, so it's the same in this one, but we'll talk about that later. For now, we gotta climb up this ladder and take care of whatever the strong presence is, so let's go do that. Come on, team. Sure, we'll go with that. What about our outfits? This guy must know about the Asura project. Yeah, I don't think that's how data works. I know we're all made of it, but I don't think you can extract the information you want from our dead bodies. But we can fight Hecaton Kairez while we're here, and because we have 2 Unda skills, we can also access Dekaja now, so that's pretty good. First things first, I'm going to Terunda him a couple of times, and then we'll have Argila transform, I think, like right about now. Oh, I should mention, the way that they have buffs in this game, they actually changed how buffs work in DDS2 specifically, and debuffs as well. You can only go to plus and minus 3. Yeah, revert, that's what I meant. Yeah, have her revert to human form, so she can start blasting next turn. Yeah, so the way that buffs and debuffs in DDS2 work, you can only go to plus and minus 3. The first time you use a Kaja or a Kunda skill, it reduces or increases that stat by 20%. The second time 10%, and the third time 5%. So it really makes it so that you basically have like plus or minus 1.5 at maximum, a little less than 1.5 even, at maximum from every other SMT game. So buffs and debuffs aren't as good in this game, but it also means that you can pretty much just get your debuffs and your buffs up in like 1 or 2 turns maximum, and then you're done. You don't have to do them again for the rest of the fight. So you don't have to spend like 6 rounds or something like that in the early parts of the game, or the early parts of the battle, just over and over and over again, buffing to like +4, -4, something like that. So he's doing this first turn. That's a little sketchy because 100 Fist deals more damage the more times he uses it. Every time he uses it, it will double his power. And that's a little sketchy, but we'll figure it out. It'll probably be all right. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to start using Earth Shot. Blast him, Argila. Yeah, there we go. 100 damage each turn. I will take it. And that's 300 damage in a single round, so because we can just keep doing this over and over again. I forget how much HP he has exactly, but it shouldn't be too long before he dies. He also has access to Executioner, which is why I wanted Terrunda, because that's a pretty damn strong physical skill. I will probably heal with one of the turns here. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's have our most powerful magic users get our Earth Shots off. There we go. I will heal Surf with Gale, and then I'll throw a ration for Argila just to keep her up and up. Gale's okay for now. So yeah, don't overbuff or over debuff. Yep, that's the gist of it. So I think it's randomized when ye old Hecaton Kairas here will use 100 Fist, because he can use it. Basically, he can use it in the first round, apparently, but he'll eventually double the power of it, and then he'll double the power again. And the more he doubles the power, the harder it is to survive it, until the point where you basically can't survive. It just one-shots you. So you want to keep ahead of your offense through the whole fight if you can, to try to keep ahead of his offense, basically. But, I mean, we're doing all right for now. He hasn't doubled his power yet, so we're still okay. I'll probably want to throw out Medical Kit this round. Let's see how much damage he's got left. Okay, he's almost dead, so maybe I'll just go for it. What the hell, right? I'm just gonna go for it. We'll be fine. Okay. He's a pretty fast guy for... Did you see him jump? Good lord, man. Okay, so now he'll double the power of 100 Fist, and it'll, you know, do 30, 40 damage. Okay, 30-ish, so... Alright, anyway. Let's just keep doing this. I'll throw a Medical Kit this time. Or I won't, because he'll die. That works, too. So if we would have hit that last Earth Shot that he jumped out of the way of, again, I've never seen his dodge animation, so that was surprising to me. But if he hadn't dodged that one, he would have died last round, but it's okay. Boss fights are not like regular encounters. They just give you a set amount of money no matter how many rounds it takes you to beat them, so don't worry about it too much. Didn't realize Argila had a fucking Dragonov. Yeah, she's got a sniper rifle, and it hurts when she uses it. I didn't give her any new mantras. Maybe we should redo that. It's not that big of a deal, I guess. It's a little bit of AP that we're missing, but if I wasn't jabbering my mouth off about Final Fantasy XII. Oh, well. Oh, we found something. What do we got? A medical kit. No, Gale didn't get anything out of that one. Yeah, I'll keep it. It's fine. And for defeating Hecaton Kairas, we got a yellow crystal, which can be used to enhance karma rings. It's basically the rings themselves are customizable accessories. You stick gems in them, and they give you more stats. So, for example, if we go over here to the karma rings that we have, we can now customize rings. So if I go to Surf, we can stick this magic crystal into the yellow crystal into the Hiho ring, and on top of the +1 vitality it already gives us, it will also give us +2 magic. I don't want to do that just yet, though, because I would rather save the yellow crystal for a different karma ring, and we'll get to which one that is in just a little bit, so... Excuse me. Yeah, apparently we found a medical kit instead of just using one. Yeah. So, apparently I called it. That's okay. But yeah, it's not a huge deal that Argila missed out on a little bit of AP there. Like, she has Angel, and that's all I really wanted from this dungeon. It's a little bit that she doesn't have, but it's not a huge deal. I'm not gonna cry over spilt milk, you know? And that's pretty much what that is just spilt milk. Why don't you try to eat this guy? Okay, well, that didn't work. Let's see. See, Argela can't really eat because if she did, it's not as effective because, you know, she doesn't have a mantra to master right now, so I guess we'll just do that. And then Surf. Keep working on Fire Demon. He's almost done with it. Yeah, he's actually very close. So he's doing really well with his mantras for right now, which I'm actually pretty impressed at how close he is to getting Agi Lao. Usually it's not this fast. It wasn't this fast when I did the test playthrough anyway, or did my first playthrough. Alright, so Argela's got an Angel all set and ready to go. We want her to work on Dragon Lord next, so that's back over here. That way we can get her to Zanma as quickly as possible. And that will come in handy for us in an upcoming boss fight, or several upcoming boss fights, frankly, because there's a few enemies coming up that are going to be weak to wind. So the two that you don't really need to worry about as much for right now are the Bufu skills and the Zeo skills. If you have access to Electric Boost or Ice Boost, that'll pretty much get you through for a little while anyway. Eventually that will become a moot point because we'll want to have access to those, but for now it's not really as huge of a deal. So really for now the main ones that you want to have are that you want to prioritize are Agi, Zan, and Terra. So yeah, that's how that is. Okay, so we got HP data. That's pretty good. I don't really have it set as to who's going to get the HP data. I'm pretty much just going to use it on whoever needs it the most. So, and what do we got in here? A Narcissus, so another plant. We've got a couple of clovers from fights in the underwater cable station, and now that's the next level of plant that we can sell to the Mad Mart. So, now the Mad Mart isn't always just the one that's in the underground city. You can go back to that one whenever you want, as long as you have access to the world map, which we don't just yet. But there's also going to be other Mad Marts that we'll gain access to as we go through the game here. I'm just double checking on something. Okay, alright, I think we're all head full, so let's head through here. And that's it for the underwater cable station. We're done with the second dungeon. Awesome. Only 7 more to go, although they're a lot longer than the first 2, so, you know. This isn't that long of a game, but it's like 40 hours if you don't do everything, so we'll get there. Probably like 17 streams, something like the first one.
They're all still hiding back home.
Yeah, we had to get through the entirety of the Karma Society by ourselves in there.
You could say we're here on their behalf.
Something like that.
What's wrong?
I was expecting you to be older?
What?
Yeah, uh-huh.
What? How could they?
There is a specific reason why he said that. Most of the dialogue in this game is done specifically, said specifically, but we can't. It's story spoilers. I can't tell you yet.
Then use the commotion to sneak Sarah out of the Karma Society tower.
Ah, okay. So the plan of action is to cause a commotion, cause a bit of an insurrection, really, and then we'll find Sarah while everything's going to shit. Perfect.
Paula will lead them.
Oh, hey, Roland. And CeeLo's back. Awesome.
Hey, guys.
They let you out of captivity, huh? Must have been for good behavior. Roland, what the hell is that?
Now we're even.
You infected yourself with the demon virus? Didn't you just kill the last guy that had it?
Once honor is involved.
Oh, great. Gale got in his head. Hey, they're wearing our colors. So yeah, Roland and Fred dyed some of their clothing Embryon orange. And, well, Roland's got a bit of a past, so...
How do we know you're not just selling us out?
Actions
Well-
speak louder than words. I will fight alongside you.
Okay.
If I fail you somehow, you can kill me.
Well, we did need more manpower.
Acceptable.
These conditions are acceptable. I'm working on it. Let me have my family reunion real quick. Now we just gotta find Heat and Sarah, and then the gang's all here. And so we get more manpower for our party, because we get CeeLo back, and Roland, a new party member, has joined us. Awesome. So we're back at 5 party members, and they actually give you all 5 of your party members really early in this game. So I like it, but also I don't like it because we don't have access to a skill that will make it easier for us to level everybody up evenly. But we're going to work on that one. Don't you worry about that. We'll go from there. There aren't even 10 dungeons? That's kind of low. Yeah, but the dungeons themselves are fairly long and complex, so... And the final dungeon is, well, you know how you spent 1/3 of DDS1 in sewers? You spend 1/3 of DDS2 in the final dungeon, so... yeah. The Heart of the Embryon is back. Instant 10 out of 10. Oh, for sure. CeeLo's the best. Okay, so this guy's going to go back to the place where they're holding Sarah while we go busting out through the next place we're going to, the internment facility. So we'll go there in a second. Let's just check in our party members first. That's funny. It didn't seem like there was much honor there before, at least according to you. What do you think, Roland? Well, it's like you said, actions speak louder than words, but I'm sure we'll see. You must have been watching some of the old anime that they programmed some of Gale's honor codes from. I wonder if Sarah watched anime when, like, old, you know, samurai anime, like 80s and 90s anime when she created the Junkyard, and that was part of why Gale turned out so, like, late Sengoku period with his attitude. I don't know. No, that's fine. That's fine. He'll lead, you guys follow, and eventually we'll all trust each other. We'll all be one big happy family. Oh, sorry, had story spoilers caught in my throat. Yeah, I don't know, Argela, but he's gonna fight alongside us, so worst comes to worst, we can just, you know... Yeah, that's apparently what the case is. Yeah, that's all, CeeLo. I mean, it's... Even if we are programs that she created, we're still ourselves. It doesn't matter that we're just a bunch of data. Everything's a bunch of data in this universe. So, let's see. Did I get the whole map? I did get the whole map. Perfect. Sorry, you gotta check that occasionally because Final Fantasy IV DS has scarred me for life. I will probably repeat that every episode, but, you know. Alright, up we go. Let's see what we're busting loose here before we, you know, head to the Sarah's location. Those guys were scary. They can turn into demons and everything. Hi, Mom. I just want to say I'm sorry for everything. My life flashed before my eyes today, and, well, I figured I'd call you. Oh, boy. Also, can you throw my pants in the laundry? I'm going to need a change of them. Oh, that's not Mom.
You were instructed never to call me.
What the hell? He's already turning his back on us? He must have been playing both sides.
Happen? I know for a fact they didn't have bodies. Raw data can't emerge on it.
John Cena just rips through the green screen behind her. Are you sure about that?
Oh, I see. Another one of God's little tricks.
We'll call it that, sure.
Continue with the plan. We will let them have Sarah.
But if Angel needs Sarah to be evil, why would she let us have Sarah? Also, why is she playing Russian roulette?
You scheming old bitch.
Oh, well, I get the feeling she doesn't like her very much.
Makes this game all the more worthwhile. So artificial.
So are you gonna take over the Karma Society or something? Like, is that just one in the chamber for old lady? Has she told us her name yet? Madam, I think, has been mentioned. We'll just call her Madam for now. Yeah, memes are funny, eh? Something like that. Memes are memes. They just crop up in everyday conversation. Your brain just goes back to them. Metal Gear Solid 2 was right so many years beforehand. She has a name? Yes, but just Madame is fine for now. I think they did know the risks, honestly. Yeah, probably a little of both, Gale, because otherwise they wouldn't have turned them into demons. I mean, the people might not have known the risks, but that's probably just because the society doesn't tell them. This guy looks suspiciously like the repairman, but I'm not sure if it is him. Hopefully that's not the repairman's brother, and the other guy died or something. That would suck. Yeah, because everybody can walk around out here without getting turned into demons, so that's... yeah, it's simultaneously good and bad, because it means they can live relatively normal lives. I use normal in heavy, bolded quotes. But they also, you know, have to live life in a cage, basically, which is no good. Oh, Timmy must be held inside this processing dome. Right, yeah, if they were outside. The sun is angry, and so he turns things to stone. He's casting stone gaze on everything. Oh, nice, okay. Use a little bit of a distraction. Cool. This is like a full-scale, actual revolutionary operation. I haven't been in one of these since we were playing The Outer Worlds. Well, this will be fun. Okay, so apparently there's a few people on the inside as well. Hopefully they haven't been processed yet, because, oh, good lord. Who discovered the glass will reflect or refract the corrupted data? Good question. If I had to guess, I would say Madame did, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I don't think they ever actually explained that specifically. We have learned that Angel was the one that found out about the stone virus, basically. So, but probably Madame discovered that this special kind of glass refracts everything. So, otherwise, why would she be the head of the Karma Society, right? Like, she had to have done something to get there. So, well, something like that. Again, I feel like Adol was a preacher or something before this, because he always talks about God, and he holds his hands up like he's repenting for something. That's some, like, Final Fantasy VII Barrett stuff. Yeah, it might be a little of both. Maybe they just repurposed an old factory. Oh, how little we know. Well, don't look directly at it. It's terrible for your eyesight. Yes, so status effects can actually cause some combinations of factors in this game. So, and it's the same in DDS1. If you're muted, the enemies drain a lot more MP from you, and that's no good. So try to avoid getting muted if possible. It doesn't really happen often enough where it's actually a problem, though. So this is a problem that comes up a little bit more, though, where demons can put a curse on you, and if you're cursed, it increases the accuracy of Mudo skills. So that's no good. Not you using Mudo skills on the enemy, but the opposite. Enemies using Mudo skills on you, so. Why do we not have suits to get around and scavenge in the post-apocalypse? That seems kind of loopholey. Because they thought demons were cooler? I don't know. Good question. Maybe they do have suits, but they just opted for demons instead because, I don't know, it's easier to keep the populace under control if they know that if they don't stay under control, giant monsters will come out and eat them alive. I don't know. I'm just guessing at this point. All right, we're going to go to the save point real quick. I am not yet going to check out our new party members because there's a specific event that I want to trigger first before we check out our new party members, but I am going to save right here first. We'll keep Arjula and Gale in the party for now. They're fine, and then we'll swap our party around as we go. But everybody's level 12, which is good, because that'll make it a little easier to keep everybody at the same levels. So, CeeLo and Roland are both working on some mantras at the moment. And actually, I might want to grab a new mantra for Roland before we move along here, because he's actually not going to use the one that he has equipped, is he? No, he is not. So what do I want to grab for him? Probably... He's going to want to work on level 1 mantras right now, because there are several level 1s that he doesn't have, including Devourer. So probably want him to work on that. And then CeeLo... I'll probably switch him up too. I think you had CeeLo and Roland at 12 last time, and everyone else was 10. Congrats, you were under-leveled last time. Yeah, it was a little bit less prepared. I definitely was less prepared for the next dungeon, because this time when I'm playing, before we leave this dungeon, I'm going to have mutual karma on everybody. so that way everybody can gain EXP at a relatively even rate. So I'm going to do this, because if I do this and then I switch over to Roland, yes, it won't actually show what his demon form is, which is kind of a big important deal. So we'll get to that eventually. But he's currently got Fire Demon equipped. Oh no, it's going to show it in a second anyway, because I'm going to equip a mantra on him. Okay, avert your gaze. Everyone avert your gaze from the stream. As a matter of fact, I know how to fix this. Hold on. I can do it myself. There. Now you can't see his demon form when I do this. Earth Spirit, that's what we want. So we'll get that for him. Yep, I did. I just ended up just turning off the display. It's much easier than trying to get people to not see it. So there you go. Roland's got Earth Spirit and CeeLo. CeeLo's got the same demon form, so it's fine. Let's see. What do we want CeeLo working on? I do want him to eventually work on and finish Fierce Spirit, because if he finishes Fierce Spirit, it'll get us access to this mantra right here, this Esoteric. But it's a level 3 skill, so it takes a while to actually get. So instead, I think I'd like to have him work on some level 1s first. Excuse me. Yeah, let's get all of CeeLo's level 1s done first, and then after we've got all of those done, then we'll be able to have him work on Fierce Spirit, and then we'll work on some other level 2s for him. So what do I want from first? Probably also Earth Spirit, now that I think about it. It won't really unlock him anything new, but it's not bad. And the enemies in here give a lot of AP by comparison to some of the ones from before, so you can actually get your level 1s done very quickly. But I would like to try to get to an event that happens early on in the dungeon here first, before we start working on like different parties and everything else. So I'm going to try to get that first. Gotten super emotional lately, so thanks for a dozen years of monochromatic quality. You're welcome. Are we at a dozen now? I think we're at like 11 at least, so I don't know. But it's been a while, and you're welcome. I'm glad people are still sticking around to enjoy it. Ah, a new shopkeeper. Hello, sir. You must be one of Roland's suppliers. Okay, sounds good. Serious business. I got it. So yes, this is one of Kathy's associates, Johnny, and he runs the Mad Mart Express. So he'll pop up in dungeons, basically, and you can purchase things from him. Usually he pops up near the beginning of a dungeon, so you'll be able to buy things, even if you haven't gone back to the Underground City recently. So, let's have a chat, Johnny. What's the secret to good business? Well, I mean, that's fair, because then he can sell to the enemy, because the enemy wants to kill us, and then he can sell to us, because we want to kill the enemy. So, there's that. It's the same point system, by the way, as well, so just, you know, you can buy all this stuff, and he's even giving us a more direct hint at what's coming up at the next rank. We can get mystery boxes at the next rank. So, let's see if we can sell. I probably want to sell this Great Chakra, because it'll get us a little bit of extra money that we can throw together to do some stuff, but I don't know yet if I want to worry about that. I'll worry about it in a little while. Let's sell our Clovers and Narcissus first. So, you're at a dozen. It was the startish of 09. Yes, yeah, sell the plants first for sure. Okay, so it must have been, yeah, it must have been 09 then. Well, that's cool. I haven't thought about that, to be honest, just yet, but well, it's cool that we, you know, have reached that kind of a milestone. All right, so we sold the plants and we got over 100 points. Now we're at rank 2. He'll set out some new goods. And also he'll give us access to, yeah, these mystery boxes that are now available. So mystery boxes can get you any number of different items. It's actually affected by the level of solar noise a little bit as well. So the closer you are to maximum solar noise, the more rare items that you'll be able to get from the mystery boxes. And in between this stream and the next stream, I'm actually going to abuse that in order to get a very specific item that I'll talk about when we get back to here on the start of the next stream. But I'll get that off screen, so it's no big deal. The only problem with the mystery boxes, of course, is that you don't get any points for purchasing them. So it's not a big deal. It's just, you know, slightly less than optimal. So I could even sell that wild card to get me a little extra money. But yeah, the Great Chakra actually is now 11,000 because of the fact that we ranked up. So ideally, you want to try to get to a higher rank without selling your high-end goods so that you can maximize your profits, but it's not really strictly necessary. So, Also, he's got some new rings for us. The magic ring is actually worth it because it increases magic, so I'll probably buy that. It's better than the hee-ho ring anyway, so I think I'll grab that while I'm here. Just get a few extra points together. And then we'll buy a few supplies, and then we'll be good. No new ammo, although actually the frigid shot is probably new, but yeah, nothing that I care about, so. What's in the box? Well, we'll find out, won't we? Let's see, we'll buy a few of these. I think I am going to sell that Great Chakra because by the time we're done with this, I'm going to have like $10,000 left, and that's not a whole lot to be re-rolling loot boxes. Because that's essentially what these boxes are, is they're loot boxes. They have any number of different things in them, from common stuff to really rare stuff, so. Also, when you reach certain milestones in terms of points, the shopkeeper will give you access to a few items that you can pick one from. We got a Dark Veil, which casts Mamudo on everything, a Holy Arrow, which casts Mahama, and then a Chakra Drop, which is a Chakra Drop. Does what it normally does. I'm probably just going to take that. The rest of them, they're alright, but they're not great. And yeah, the more points you get, the more chances there will be of you actually getting more events like that, so. Yes, they were loot boxes before loot boxes, so it is in fact time to play the gacha. We were avoiding it for so long, but there's no more avoiding it now. Speaking of loot boxes before loot boxes, I heard they're going to be having Mass Effect 3's multiplayer, and they're going to bring it back in like a free download for the Legendary Edition. Cole told me that. I'm not 100% sure how true it is, but that was the like precursor to loot boxes in video games. It was the one that showed most companies, hey, loot boxes actually work, was Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. So I'm simultaneously excited because I actually really enjoyed Mass Effect 3's multiplayer, but also a little spooked because that means that now they're gonna get to sell millions of loot boxes to people again, which is not good. I mean, maybe now the market will be for loot. Now that the market for loot boxes has been shot to hell and back, and they get bad press just for saying the word loot box in a game, maybe it'll be less abusive. I don't know. Download FTO and suffer through the final boss of Gacha Hell. I think I'll pass. I don't know about that one. Okay, but yeah, we're going to sell our Great Chakra just because we'll get more of them as we go through the game, so don't worry about it too much. But $11,000 at this point is no joke, so like definitely going to want to hold on to that as much as we can. So now I'm going to try to maximize the profits that I get from this anyway, and also I'm going to sell the Soma Drop as well. We'll get more of these too, so don't worry about it too much. That'll get us quite a bit of money, and also it'll score us over 300 points, so now we're at rank 3, and that'll let him set out new goods, and even will allow our prices to go even higher, so for what we can sell for. So at rank 3, we can buy some Chakra Drops, Brave Rations, a lot of stuff that I don't particularly care about just yet. The Spyglass, however, is nice. It's basically the Analyze skill, except it's an item that you can reuse in battle. I think I will get that right now, actually. It's basically been paid for by that Soma Drop and then a little bit more, so. But yeah, I'm going to try not to use too much of my money on the Crimson boxes. Ideally, I'm going to try to get the item that I want out of it in 5 gacha pulls or less. So $5,000 or less, and if I don't get it in those pulls, I'll just reset. But again, I want to do this at maximum solar noise, and at the moment, I don't think we're quite at maximum. I think we're closer to minimum. Yeah. So I'm going to want to run around in here, basically, until I get to maximum solar noise. And I'll do that at the end of the stream, basically, to kind of give you an idea. Okay, so here's where we're at. I'm going to be at close to maximum, and basically I'm going to run from the save point to this shop, and then we'll get to, you know, it'll be maximum solar noise. I can try the gacha game until I get it's a karma ring, basically, that I want. And it's very, very useful, so you want to get it as early as possible. And as far as I know, this is the earliest you can get it, so we're going to try to get it now. They'll just call loot boxes something else to avoid super bad rep. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah. Oh, boy. The average human has the memory of a goldfish, and a ton of people have already forgotten the original loot box outbreak. Yeah, it's been a few years, hasn't it? So, oh, I don't like the idea of people forgetting about that, but maybe you're right. Maybe they will, and oh, boy. That'll cause a bunch of headaches. Uh-oh, that looks like one of our guys. That's no good. Well, we're a little craftier than you might think. We're not all sheep to be herded. We are not cattle to be sold by a traitor king. That's the line. There you go. I love the script for the English script for Final Fantasy XII. It just sticks in your mind. It's like Shakespeare, man. Yeah, you guys won't be reporting back to your bosses, because we're about to kill you. The Wanted Tuners, and who the hell are you? I'm the guy that's about to kick your ass. All right, Roland, let's see it. Show me what a newly made demon can do. Especially against these guys, because they're a little tricky, but they have an army, we have a Roland. Oh yeah, now it's all coming together. I still can't get enough of Roland's demon design. It's fucking great, man. Oh boy. So what happens if you don't have Roland in your party is he actually replaces the third party member in your party, and that's perfect because from now on throughout the whole game, Surf, Argela, Roland is going to be one of the parties that we use. Surf, CeeLo, Gale is going to be the other party that we use. Or more specifically to the party order, Argela, Surf, Roland, and then CeeLo, Surf, Gale will be the parties that we use. So that's the plan anyway. I can't access Miragi with this, but I do have Agi on 2 people now, so. Yeah, the English script for 12 was amazing. They did a really good job of translating it over and making it more than just like a direct translation. It became elevated from just a direct translation. It became its own, it gave it its own identity, which is just fantastic. I really like it. But anyway, we have access to 2 people with Agi, so let's go do that. Or I could use Tentarafu and just totally cheese this whole fight, but we'll show Tentarafu in a minute. Let's do this first, because this is a little more like what you're supposed to do, so. Okay, that guy's frightened. Let's see if Argela can kick his ass. Yep, good. And we'll just blast this one into oblivion. Or he'll dodge, that's fine, I guess. Ain't much I can do about it now. Whoops, I healed the wrong person. Oh, I'm messing up now. That's okay. Let's do it again. There you go. The sound that plays when Roland's blade retracts. Uh-huh. Oh, it's great. Okay, so Argela got a head start on Dragonlord. That's good. Roland got himself working on Earth Spirit. Same with CeeLo. So yeah, we're in good shape now. And we got to see Roland's demon form when it was actually supposed to be first seen, unlike when we played it before and I looked at the status screen like a dumbass. Oh well. Well, we got our guy back, so. Okay, well that's both good and bad. Who's the jailer? Oh great, fantastic. Yeah, the jailer is really strong, as we'll see soon. He won't be strong enough to beat me though. I'm already level 12 on everybody. We'll be good. No, we will not be good. We will not be good in the slightest. Okay, so let's set some new skills for Roland. He comes with a few elemental skills already mastered, which is pretty nice for him. He's mainly going to focus on electricity and earth are going to be his main things. So he's going to be similar to Surf in that respect, because he actually is strong against electricity and weak to earth, as we can see if we look at his demon form here. So he's similar to what you would expect CeeLo to be, except CeeLo's weak to ailments instead. So Roland is more of the traditional electric user, and he's got nice balanced stats, which is pretty good for him. Let's see, so let's set a few different skills for him. Does he have anything interesting that I would want to set? I guess Patra wouldn't be bad. I'm going to keep Void Fire for now because it might actually come in handy for him. I gave him Earth Spirit instead of Devourer. I probably should have given him Devourer first. I'll fix that when we get back to the terminal, now that we've seen his demon form. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ring off of Gale. We won't ever need to equip the power ring again. Well, actually, I won't say that. There is one specific boss fight where I will want to equip the power ring. But let's do this just to get rid of the exclamation point, remove the ring, and yeah, we'll keep the Vital Ring on Argela. We'll keep the He-Ho Ring on Surf for now. Actually, we'll put the Power Ring on him just for now until the next episode when I get the ring I actually want him to have equipped. And we'll put the Magic Ring on Roland. And that's essentially how everything's going to be for a little while, is we'll have the Vital Ring, a different ring that I'm about to get from a loot box, and then the Magic Ring. Eventually, I'll replace those with 3 other rings. Well, not the one I'm going to get for Surf. That one's going to be on him for basically the entire game. But, yeah, eventually we'll replace the Magic Ring with something else and the Vital Ring with something else, but we'll worry about that later. You do want to keep an eye out in this dungeon, though, because there are some enemies that will drop vitality-boosting gems. I think they're blue diamonds, if I recall correctly. So you'll want to keep an eye out for them, because those will come in very handy for getting access to a bunch of good stuff. Extra vitality never hurts, and you won't get access to any other diamonds for quite a while after this. So, good thing you weren't here last time you got here, so you could see Roland's demon form when we're supposed to. Yes, that is good, Conquer. That's the best time to see it. Is right there. They made the cutscene and everything for it, so that's probably when you're supposed to see it. Still have two major questions. What the fuck is up with Surf having a new portrait, and where the fuck is Heat? Both will get answered, actually. So it just won't happen yet, but it will. They both will get answered. So Surf just wanted a new portrait, and Heat, well, IDK. We'll worry about Heat soon. Don't worry about it. We'll figure out what he's doing in just a little bit. But let's work on Devourer for now for Roland. The other thing, by the way, is that it doesn't matter if you purchase a mantra and then you switch to something else before you master it, because as you can see here, it's available and there's no price. So if you, let's say, get finished with Devourer and you want to go back to Earth Spirit, even though you already bought it, you can do that. You just re-download it, and it will get re-equipped, so you don't have to buy it again. So yeah, don't worry about that. No need to re-buy anything. So, but let's get Devourer on Roland. So we'll keep him in the party for now, and Argila, because they can work on that stuff, and Roland can work on getting Devourer. We'll get all of his level 1s and all of CeeLo's level 1s, and then we'll go from there. So essentially the rest of the stream is going to be spent with me running around in this opening area, just this first room of the internment facility, mastering level 1s for CeeLo and Gale, basically. So apologies if it's not too interesting, but that's about the gist of it. So we'll get started on that right about now, and we'll go from there. Just map this place out a little bit. We'll get closer to that maximum solar noise that I want to get to, and then we'll be good to go. But yeah, basically, because of how much AP the enemies in here give you when you devour them, oftentimes you won't end up actually having to worry too much about, learning their mantras, because they'll learn them so quickly that it doesn't even matter, especially once we get access to, once we get access to Devour for Roland. So, okay, so these Aerobus are actually pretty threatening for Surf in particular. As you can see, Flame Breath is pretty powerful, and at the moment he doesn't quite have enough HP where he can reliably survive a bunch of Flame Breaths, but that's why we're gouging Vitality and Magic for him, so that he can survive those, because Vitality gives him more HP, and Magic gives him the Magic defense to survive it. So, but they're weak to Ice, so yeah, you want to keep Surf in here anyway, just to, take care of that. Do I want to eat that guy? Not really, because I want Roland to get Devourer faster, so we'll avoid eating until he gets it. Alright, so let's check out Roland's crit. Yeah, he has a retractable double-edged sword in his arm. It's fucking great. Now, this is actually fully explained by Roland's... the demon form that he takes is the form of Indra. And Indra is actually a really interesting Hindu-Buddhist mythology figure. I would recommend taking a look at him, because the weapon that he uses is actually a part of Indra's moveset as well. It fuses with his arm because he's a demon, so it's really interesting how they've made everything kind of circulate together. And it's part of DDS2's strength, I think, by comparison to some other not other Digital Devil games, but other SMT games, is the fact that it can reliably fall back on a specific mythology, so that it allows the story and everything about the characters to be a little bit more focused based on that mythology. And so I think that's pretty good. Yeah, it's Indra. Yep, that's his demon form. Hang on, I can actually show you if we go back into the status screen. Hold on. Actually, third question, how did he end up separated from everyone? Wasn't he with the group when the Karma Temple imploded? This is true, he was. But remember also that Argila and Gale were in different areas when they came out of the simulation, even though they were relatively close to where Heat was. Argila ended up in the underground city, Gale ended up on the surface, actually closer to Surf than to Argila. And Surf also ended up on the surface, and CeeLo ended up wherever CeeLo ended up. So, yeah, it's even though they were close to in proximity in the simulation, we kind of got flung halfway around well, not the world, but the world that the game takes place in, around New Portland. So, yeah, it didn't really work out for us. Our proximity in the simulation didn't really matter. But yeah, so you can actually see, if you look above their strengths and weaknesses there, everybody's specific form that they're taking based on the different mythological figures. And again, it's all Hindu Buddhist stuff. So they've got like Prithivi here, or Prithivi, however you pronounce that. We got Varuna. It's not Varna, it's Varuna, but it's a mistranslation, so no big deal. Indra, Deus, and Vayu. So there's your 5. There's your mythology homework for the day. Go look them up because all of them are interesting. Although maybe don't look them up too much because it might spoil a little bit of the story later on in the game. Well, actually it won't spoil that much, but it will give you an idea of how their demon designs affect their, what's it called? Affect their personalities and what they do as characters, so... Okay, so we can actually use Ice Shot in this one because Roland has access to a Void skill, and I forget if Argela has access to one right now, too. No, she doesn't, but that's okay. We'll be able to do it next turn, so we'll just transform these two, but we'll leave Surf untransformed because it will be a little easier to blast these guys that way. I'm going to Terrunda because, why not? So why am I giving you homework? I mean, you don't have to do it. It's just a thought. If you want to learn more about the demons, you can. But you don't have to, so... Oh, we can even Mabufu like this. Nice. Let's do that, then. Won't quite get us a whole ton of damage, but it'll get us enough for me to go do this. Give it to me, Roland! Nice shot. I should probably put Bufu at the top of the list, actually. So we can finish him off a little easier. You don't need to do any homework, it's just a thought, so... Oh, okay, so the Arobas here are the enemies that actually give you blue diamonds. And that's perfect, because the Karma Ring that I'm going to be getting from the shop in the gacha game there actually has 2 slots total. So we already have a yellow crystal, and now we have a blue diamond. So that means I can just throw those both into that ring specifically, and it'll be done for a while. Like, eventually we'll have to reset the ring when we get access to better stuff, but we won't need that for a little while, so... Alright, let's keep wandering around. Eventually I'm going to want to start eating again, and this whole process will go a lot faster, but I don't want to do that until Roland gets Devourer, so... You're so sleepy, work is boring. Maybe don't do the homework then, it's not that necessary. So, who can Miragi on this team? I really need to set Zan so I can use Miragi, because we don't have access to it at the moment, which is a little upsetting, but that's okay. Let's Molotov them. Since they seem keen on ambushing us and not letting us transform. Don't use Ice Blasts on them. I feel like that should be pretty obvious, but, you know. It's there. Sure, I'll just transform because I got the press turn. And then Argela, shoot him! There we go. Okay, so Surf is done with Fire Demon. Nice. So that's already enough of a reason to go back. Alright, so now Argela should have Zan, right? I think I learned that for her. So that means if I do that... Let's see, set... Yes, I did learn Zan for her. So we need... What do I want her to have right now? Bufu and... Zan, right? Those are the 2 elements that she's mastering, but right now it's actually probably better for her to... Let's see here. What would be best? We could just leave you with all of those skills, then everybody can access whatever they want until I get... Eventually I'm going to want Roland to learn some physical skills as well, because eventually he's going to turn into a pretty powerful physical attacker too. So, like, he gets a little bit more strength growth than magic growth, similar to Gale, basically. So we'll want to have him using Mad Rush as well, so his moveset will look pretty similar to Gale's once we're all said and done. Well, I guess we're going back since we're done with Fire Demon, and shortly after that we'll be done with Devourer, and then we'll go from there. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the rest of the level 1s off-screen while I'm getting ready to get that Karma Ring from the loot boxes or not. Also, speaking of which, we can try for the loot boxes right now while I'm just sitting here. Since we're at 7 out of 8 solar noise anyway. I don't know if we're waxing or waning, though, so we'll have to see which one we are, and then we'll go from there. But basically, once we get mutual karma from our mantras there... Oh, I didn't get Surf a new mantra. Let me get that first. But once we get mutual karma for everybody, it will be a lot easier for us to keep everybody's levels similar. So... Alright, now here's the question. Do I want to buy Fire Leader now, when it costs 10,000, And I'd rather wait until we get access to that esoteric before I really start spending a whole ton of money. What else could I buy instead? I could buy Stramana. Or Ice Demon. I guess Stramana's not bad because it's only 2,500, so maybe we'll work on that for now for Surf. And eventually, once we get access to that esoteric here, and we master it, then I can start working on the level 2 skills. So, we'll do that for now. Alright, Roland, we just got to get you Devourer, and then we'll be in good shape, so maybe I'll go try the gacha, and if I don't get it... Well, no, I don't know if that's a good idea, because I don't want to end it just yet. I want to basically wait until Roland gets Devourer before I end the stream, because then once he gets that, it's like, okay, I'm going to spend like half an hour over the course of the next couple of days just running around in this first area, because if I eat something here, well, you get a level 1 and approximately 1 1/10 enemies here, so yeah, it's pretty quick to get the level 1s. So maybe I'll just do that off screen just to take care of it. It's just a little bit of grinding. It's like, it's actually not even a half an hour. I don't even want to say that. It's more like, about like 20 minutes. We won't be doing very much grinding in the game. There's very few situations where you need to, so. Especially now, since I know which skills work and which ones don't, I don't need to really grind hardly at all, other than getting the level 1s now. Like, it's just more effective to do it now than to try to do it throughout the dungeon and have to constantly be going back and forth between the save point, you know what I mean? You might as well do it now while you're near a save point and a life terminal so you can heal yourself up. So. Also, Arjula got magic and agility from that level, so that's pretty good. Will come in handy for her. Okay, so now we've got Onkats. Are you ready for 10 Tarafu spam? Because Onkats can summon other Onkats into battle, but they are also weak to 10 Tarafu. Check this out. Oh, wait, actually, let me get to Surf's turn first so we can see the maximum possible damage we can do with this. Now, remember that this is the 3rd dungeon of the game, and we are level 12. Watch this. 200 damage on a weakness hit in the 3rd dungeon. That means it does 100 damage without a weakness hit. Are you kidding me? So, that one-shots 90% of the enemies in this dungeon. It doesn't matter who they are, whether or not they're weak to it, nothing. It just one-shots everything except for the largest enemies in this dungeon. It one-shots them. Just flat out. So, get Dentarafu because it murders everything. Very easily. So, yeah, it's very good, and you should get it and use it because it's hard mode, so you might as well be busted. It's hard mode, so either you're busted or the enemies are busted. So, you know, might as well make it work for you while you're at it. What do I want to use here? I guess I'll use Terra on you. That should still work, yeah. I would be eating this Anzu, but I want to get Roland Devourer first, so we'll just do that. And we're almost there, so maybe one more battle and then he'll have it, or maybe 2, but we'll see. But I want to get back to the save point before the enemy encounters, like, turn into, like, 3 of them on my way back to the save point. That wouldn't be good. Speaking of that wouldn't be good... Oh, okay, good. We didn't get into a situation where they were getting the first attack. So, okay, a Frighten and a Freeze. That's good. Let's do this. And then go for it, Roland. Yeah, I can't get enough of Roland's demon design, man. It's so fucking cool. It's fantastic. I love it. Also, CeeLo mastered Earth Spirit and Roland mastered Devourer, so that's good. Now everybody can eat. CeeLo actually starts with Devourer already mastered, as you may have seen from his mantra grid there. So he can eat if he's in the party, but right now he's not in the party because I wanted to make sure Roland got Devourer first, and, well, he'll get it a little faster if he's... Well, actually, that's not even true. He doesn't get it faster if he's in the party, so... I just wanted to have Roland in the party, okay? He's got a cool demon design, and I wanted to use it while we were at it. Okay, so anyway, let's top everybody off. We'll get some new mantras, and then I think we'll call it a day. And what I'll do is, in between this stream and the next stream, I will get the Karma Ring that I want from the gacha game. Again, I'll try to do it in as few loot boxes as I can, so that way I save my money, because we're going to need the money, trust me. And then in addition to that, I will also go and get all of the level 1s done for CeeLo and Roland before we move on with the dungeon. So that way we can just move straight on with the dungeon by the time we get to the next episode. What are they going to be mastering in the interim? Let's see. Now that Roland has Devourer, he's in pretty good shape. We want Shura, Earth Spirit, and Regular Spirit for him. He's going to be working on physical attacks along with Gale over the course of the game. That'll get him a few passives like First Strike over time. And he's also going to be working on buffs, so he's going to have all of our Kaja skills eventually, so that'll put him in pretty good shape. He actually synergizes really well with Argela, with what I have Argela doing, and Argela is going to be learning light and dark skills as well as healing skills. So that combination allows Surf to worry about the ailment skills, and it also lets them synergize really well. It's similar with CeeLo and Gale, because in this case, Gale is learning light and dark and physical skills, and then CeeLo is learning healing and ailment skills. So that allows them, all of these teams, to synergize with each other really well, and that should make things a lot easier on us. So yeah, Roland needs to learn Shura, Earth Spirit, and Regular Spirit. Now that CeeLo is done with Earth Spirit, he needs to learn Spirit, Shura, Dragon, and Fire Spirit in order to move along here. So Roland needs 3, CeeLo needs 4. I'm probably going to bring CeeLo into the party since he needs more than Roland. So we'll go from there. Let's see. You want Dragon, yes. Does that get you access to Fire Spirit? When do you get access to Fire Spirit? Maybe you get it through the Esoteric. Yeah, you got to get it through the Esoteric. So I think we'll wait on Fire Spirit for CeeLo for now. He doesn't need it that badly. What it basically does is it'll get him access to Adamant, which will let him start working on ailment skills. But since Surf already has Adamant mastered, and Surf is going to be in the party anyway, CeeLo doesn't need it that badly. He mainly needs it to get some nullifiers for his ailment weakness. So that's the main thing. So we'll basically, CeeLo needs 3 and Roland needs 3, so I'll just work on getting CeeLo... I'll do Spirit for you first, or yeah, you're going to do Regular Spirit for now because you need that for something, right? Yeah, he needs Spirit for a very specific reason. It's a rather specific need. We need Void Mute for a specific boss fight later on in the game that I want him to be a part of because of his lack of an elemental weakness. So we'll get him Spirit, and he can move right along from there. As for Roland, we want him... I'll have him work on Shura so that he can get a little closer to being what he wants to be. And if I master the other stuff, like let's say I mastered Dragon Lord or Fire Demon for Argela and Gale, I'm probably just going to have them work on Sramana as well, just like how Surf is, until we gain access to Fierce Spirit with CeeLo, which we will start working on once we master all of the level 1s. I'll have CeeLo and Gale come into the party. We'll have CeeLo start working on mastering Fierce Spirit, so that way we can gain access to the Esoteric mantra, which the one that's in the middle of all of those skills there, that gives you mutual karma, which is a skill that I really want because it allows me to put anybody into or out of the party that I want, and they will gain the full amount of experience that we get, even if they're out of the party. So it's rather nice, and I'd like to work on it. But before I do that, I need to win a karma ring from a loot box, and I also need to work on a whole bunch of level 1 skills for all of the characters that I have. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll meet you back here for the next episode of Digital Devil Saga 2, the Stream Edition, which will be happening on Friday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And like I said, I'll take care of all the level 1 mantra grind, quote-unquote, because it literally is just going to be me running around in circles here until I get them mastered now that I have Devourer for everybody. So I'll work on that, and then when we meet back here, I'll have the new ring that we want. Everybody will be done with their level 1s. We'll be working on Fierce Spirit, and we can move along with the internment facility. So thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you coming out to Twitch and YouTube to check out the stream, and I will see you all in the next one, which, as I said, will be on Friday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Until then, everybody, take care, and have a good one.